We are.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits, you can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting minutes for quite some time now, just to see you again. And I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been finding ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
you struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Welcome everybody to the first day of Elite Play-ins. We are joined today by Wilkie. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. What about yourself?
I'm feeling good. It looks like an exciting day today as well. And today we've got Systema Solarisa is against Unitox, I believe it is. We have Saturnia and Inguni for both sides respectively. And we'll see how today's going to play out. How are you feeling about it?
I feel like it's going to be a very good series. Both teams pretty established. They've both had a fair amount of changes throughout the season as well. So they're kind of even on that field. All the players are fairly well known. They're all decent. They've all played six-mans, and I've played with them as well. And they've all looked very solid. So it'll be a very good game, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even as we go into, the team stats and all, like, they're very close together. And I don't think there's too much actually separating these teams.
Yeah, if we look at them here, obviously, Systema Solaris or Saturnia were 6th in their conference with 35 wins, just over Unitox, which must say something about the conferences. But overall, they are very, very close. But if you can see the save stats here, 327 saves to just 300. It really just shows how, or like the difference between both playstyles, Systema Solaris being more defensive and more grounded, whereas Unitox actively looking for those demos and being more aggressive.
Yeah, and even the shooting percentage being, I think it was 5% more towards Saturnia as well, and we can see in the player stats, we have both teams being fairly well-rounded, but you can see there PJ for Saturnia having nearly double of any other player in saves, so it will show that he's extremely needed in that defense side. And apart from that, there isn't too much there's no proper standout players. Everyone's their own little sector, their own little things.
Yeah. yeah, everyone's fairly close together, and it looks very good. Anyway, for today, we do have, obviously, this match, Saturnia versus Anguni, and then the winner of that will go against the Alpha Surge roster, and then after that series, we will have Giles versus Summit. A very, very interesting day if you are an Elite fan in RSC. So it will be very interesting. What are your thoughts on it, Tezit?
Yeah, it looks to be a very good day, and all the games look to be a little bit exciting. But before we can start our own game, we have to get into predictions. So, how do you think this game's going to go?
Well, after a lot of deliberation, I think it's going to be a 4-2 to Saturnia. After looking at how they performed, I feel like as of recently, Saturnia has better stats. All the players have a higher win percentage, and defense in Elite's fairly it's fairly important because a lot of shots have to be saved, right? Because in Elite, the shots will be a lot more complicated, they will be a lot better, and if a team's more defensive, then they will be able to counter-attack a lot more, which would probably make them a better favourite. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you on the side that wins. However, I'm not with you on how they're going to do it. I believe Saturnia will win, but I think it's going to be a bit of a closer tie. I think it's going to be 4-3, as both sides look to be extremely even together. So, with that out of the way now, I think it's time that we can go to our first game in this series.
Yeah, and we are just having some complications here because Unitox wants their subbing and Saturnia want their coaching, which is fairly interesting, and they're having a well, I've just got info. No one's allowed. So it's just 3v3, no one else is allowed in. We'll just tell that to the players right now. But yeah, overall, it looks like it's going to be an interesting series.
Yeah, it definitely does, and hopefully now that the players know that they're not allowed to do that, we can probably get underway.
I do apologize for the delay. We should be getting in now. Oh, good.
So,
sound. Oh yeah. Anyway, after that, it seems like it's going to be a very good series, and we should be able to go in. Anyway, so after all this, we have Dash, Jobs, and the GOAT PJ versus Sweaty, Joker, and Raz. I don't know, and we are in. It seems like production is kind of chalked at the moment. Chebs is having a couple of issues.
I guess we'll just have to play by players.
Oh, we've got it. Anyway, PJ getting dunked by Sweaty Gary. Now he has a solo play. Looking for a single shot here. Couldn't quite get it. Dash on defense. All three players on defense there for Saturnia. Sweaty looking for an interception. Can Dash or Jones get this ball? They can. They put it onto the side. Raz is there. Will he turn? He doesn't. And we see PJ looking for a solo play. Gets the dunk. It's backboard. Is anyone there for it? Dash is. And that's the first goal of the series for Saturnia.
Yeah, it's very well played. PJ getting that double offensive ground jump, trying to find the bump, and that could just clean up very happily as PJ got two to kind of commit to it. And we see, will Nguni be able to quickly come back, or is Saturnia just going to go ahead? And PJ trying to find it on his own again. Sweaty getting there in time, tries to find the pass in the midfield, does get it. Raz puts it to the side. And Joker can't get the shot off quick enough, and Dash will quickly take this just for the counter. Gets saved by Sweaty, and PJ is just going to try to keep the pressure on.
And this is exactly what I've been saying. The more defensive roster will probably come through, and exactly demonstrated by their first goal. Now PJ wants another 15. Raz puts up the sidewalk, gets one touch. It does go to Dash, however, as there are no Nguni players to counter. Joker now gets one onto the backboard. Can Dash get it? He can't, but Joker clears it. And it does make you deliberate if he's playing for the Saturnium side himself.
Yeah, definitely so, and Jobs getting good control there, does get the flip reset, but it kind of bounces him away instead. We see now a little bit of a double quick coming out from Sweaty and Raz. Raz has to stay back here. Joker trying to maybe just decide about going for it. Jobs, though, having control of it, gets the 50 with Joker, goes up to Dash, gets cleared away, however. Sweaty's able to get the 50, try to get another touch. PJ's there to make a block, try to just kind of release some of that pressure. Jobs now on the counter possibly, but gets bumped out the way from Raz. And PJ will just boom that one upfield. Can Dash find it? Joker's there on the line. No one's there for the follow-up shot. Raz is just going to clear that one away. And now we see Joker just taking control rather than just booming it. We'll see, can he find a way to out of his own half? Can't do much, however. And it just looks like Nguni have to more so survive rather than absorb this pressure.
Yeah, and it really does just come down to the quality of the players here, as Sweaty does get one, and in my opinion, he's probably the best player on this Nguni roster. However, they do have the potential for upset, in my opinion, as Raz, again, does just give away the ball into Saturnia possession, and luckily they do get it back. Joker gets one touch in the midfield, gets intercepted by Dash. Can Raz put this into the midfield? It gets two touches, but gets intercepted. Jobs with a not very good miss, and it's just in! Joker with the capitalization of just kind of pity from the Saturnia defense.
Yeah, and that is very, very unlucky from Saturnia. They probably could have done a little better. There were a few mistakes there coming out, and PJ will try to take that one after the kickoff. Doesn't do much with it, however. Jobs trying to find him. He does find him, gets the shot off, but Joker's able to be there in time.
Yeah, and Raz here, he does get one touch, looking for a double tap on the backboard there. Couldn't quite get it. Now, Sweaty gets a corner read, and having a double commit there isn't exactly the best, as a counter-attack can now ensue. Dash gets one touch, tries to get another corner read, doesn't quite get out. Now Jobs goes low, gets it past one. Sweaty wants another one. Can he get intercepted? No, Jobs. He couldn't get it. Now Dash, can he intercept this play and put it into midfield? He couldn't quite do so. Sweaty, just solo playing, releasing the pressure from that defense. Raz, it wasn't the best bang here as Jobs. He has the potential to do something. He couldn't quite do it. Dash again tries to get the mid pass, couldn't quite do so again, and it really does look like the pressure is on, but they can't quite capitalize.
Yeah, and well, as you say that, PJ finding the net there and putting Saturnia back on their lead, hopefully to hold on to it this time. Jobs getting a good bump off, and PJ will happily take that one into the net.
Yeah, and on the kickoff here, it's 2-1, and as I predicted, it does look like Saturnia is going to be the better side for this game. It's Dash gets it out of the corner here, really good bang from him. Now Jobs, can he get a second? He can't quite do so. Now Sweaty, what can he do? Can he build some pressure onto the Saturnia defense? Not quite, as PJ's there. Just going to the backboard, but where's the Nguni third man? He's all the way back. He couldn't capitalise on his position. And Dash gets one touch. He wants a second, can't quite get it, as Sweaty does get the clear. PJ gets one midfield, but Jobs decides to be last man in defense for whatever reason. And Jobs just get the 50, good 50 by Dash there, and it goes onto the ground. Saturnia 1-0 up in the series.
Yeah, and that's a very good way to start the series as well. If you are Saturnia, just not giving your opponents too many chances and taking a lot for yourself. We see there a little bit of a carry for Jobs, but he'll happily take it. He won't say anything about it. But now, if you are Nguni, how are you going to come back into this? You've lost that by 1 goal. You didn't play bad, necessarily, but unless you can find a way back into this, this could just spiral worse and worse for them.
I completely agree. And one of the main things that I've just saw there was that last man is always really pushed back when they really don't need to be, and that releases a lot of pressure from the Saturnia defense, which helps them a lot with counter-attacks as well, as when both of your teammates are rotating back and you're not pressuring them, it does end up being a good counter-attack goal. Can they do anything about this? How can they capitalize on what I've just said? Will they listen? Who knows? And as we go into the second game, what do you want to see from them to win game 2?
Possibly just trying to, obviously, as you were saying, having that third man push up a little further, trying to have a little bit more risk plays rather than just going for the simple things, because clearly that's not working. Maybe try a few bumps, demos, stuff like that. Just be a bit more aggressive on the side of Nguni, because otherwise you're going to get overrun. As we see again, the pressure is just still mounting even after that first game. Jobs, just a little pop shot. Joker has to be up quickly. Gives it straight back to Jobs, who does get the shot off. Raz gets the save. We see Sweaty trying to find some sort of clearance. Can't do much with it, however. Jobs getting a 50. Gets the touch up, pass down. And that isn't on target, however. We need to see them finding the target a little more. PJ clearing that one away. Sweaty has to be there immediately to it, otherwise that could have gone extremely bad. The pass is down to Dash, and Raz is able to make the save. And again, this is just them trying to survive the pressure.
And again, it's basically a repeat of game 1, but the counter-attack could be coming. Sweaty trying to get that on target. Really good defense from Saturnia. However, there's only one man with boost, and that's Dash. Can he get the second touch to relieve? He can. Now PJ has the boost. He has given the ball to Sweaty. He gets the bump off though, which does prevent him from doing anything serious, as Joker gets a weird touch here, but tries to pass it into the midfield. And Sweaty does overcommit now. What can PJ do? He goes for a bump, doesn't quite get there. Jobs now. He's last man against 2 men. Can he do anything about it? He can. What a save. And, well, the counter-attack should come.
Yeah, if you're in Nguni, you're thinking, what more do we need to do to get around this defense? Because they bumped the second man. They got around and tried to bump the third. Nearly put him out of position, and when you do that and it comes back the other side into your own net, like a goal, from a goal like that, you're just thinking, what more do we need to do? Like, how can we beat these people? Clearly, nothing is going to work in our favour if we can't score.
And that's exactly what Dash just did with what a shot. Getting the ceiling shot right off and keeping his flip until the opponent is completely awkward and unable to get the save. Now, what can Dash do? He gets one of the interceptions, and it just looks like a shot. I mean, I have to say, that is just really poor from the Saturnia defense. Sweaty, to be fair, gets a very good 50 and gets the bump, and at the end of the day, that's all you need. But it doesn't rectify the issues that they might still have within the rest of the game.
Yeah, and that is a very good play coming out from Nguni. Saturnia probably just feel a little hard done by there, and that pass to Dash nearly found the net, but there was a good save coming out. We see now Raz trying to make something, try to maybe get the lead for the first time in this series. They can't do much, however. Choker finding the hit. Sweaty getting there first. Dash has to go up, leaves it for Jobs. And Raz is just trying to keep this pressure on. He doesn't want to let Saturnia have any freedom on the ball currently. Sweaty finding Joker. Joker, the shot's a little off target, however, and Dash can just take control, try to get his team out. Gets not a great 50 on Raz, but does get the bump to kind of push him away. Joker, though, keeping this pressure on. They're not letting them out of their own half. And this is probably what they needed to be at, because otherwise it could have got so much worse. We can see now both sides are being a little more aggressive. Both sides trying to just find something here, try to get ahead again. And as it stands currently, it looks like Nguni should be doing better.
It definitely does, and it definitely supports the momentum switch that's kind of felt within Game 2 here, as for whatever reason it does seem like the Saturnia players are becoming more individual, which isn't really what you want as a Saturnia fan, as Jobs, again, does kind of demonstrate my point. However, it's working very well. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get it past the last man. Now, what can they do to actually get it past? There's one pass into the midfield, but Dash is just way too far back to capitalise. Now, it's another pass into the midfield. Joker does get the interception, however. And it looks like a stalemate within the midfield between the both of these teams.
Yeah, and Inguni again, just trying to keep the pressure on. Sweaty finding the hit over, tries to get the shot off, can't get it though. Dash got demoed for his troubles by Sweaty. Jobs now trying to get a counter-attack going. Raz is able to make the interception. And we'll see, can Inguni get out of their own half, or will Saturnia keep the pressure on? Raz able to find Joker. The shot was on, but Jobs gets there in time. Sweaty now trying to maybe go for a solo. PJ is able to get the block off. Tries to maybe get a second. Can't do it, however. Joker was there immediately. Jobs past the Dash. Can he do something with this? Not. He just gets 50. This is what I'm seeing a lot of. They're trying to go for things, but getting blocked or getting intercepted by the players on Inguni. They need to be trying to maybe do some more passing plays, or a little bit of demos coming in. That's a good shot coming out, but Sweaty's able to get it off of the line. Can Saturnia find a way back into this, or will Inguni be able to get their first goal back?
And that is undoubtedly the question, as, well, it might be a goal here. Dash, can he get on target? He can! With the 0-second goal, Saturnia have just won game 2 by a smidge.
Yeah, and they will not say no about it at all.
Honestly, man, that must feel so bad for Inguni there, as they played very well towards the end of that game, as they switched the momentum up. Obviously, the first goal coming from Dash within the first 2 minutes, and, well, it didn't look like they were really in the game anymore, and that's not exactly their fault, as Inguni was playing a lot better than they were in the first game. But it does look like, from the points in this match, that Dash and Sweaty are both the danger men for that team.
Yeah, and they both played extremely well, and we could see Inguni, they were on top for a lot of that game. 57% field domination. Just goes to show that that was a complete switch from game 1. They were playing so much better, but Saturnia were just able to do that. Were able to make their chances hurt a lot more, and maybe try to just kind of push forward more, trying to put Inguni on the attack, trying to let them have their space, but the second they see a chance to kind of be a bit more clinical, they made it happen and made it work. And that has been the issue for Inguni. They haven't been able to do it.
And it doesn't look like they have called a timeout, to my knowledge, as they haven't put it in chat. What I will ask. But in the meantime, there is a question. And that question is, what do you think Inguni need to do?
Honestly, I'm not too sure, because no matter, as we saw already, they've started playing a lot better and started playing a lot more aggressive, but Saturnia just kind of soaked that pressure in, let them do their thing, and then the second they saw any mistake or any vital opportunity, they went and were clinical with it. So if you're Inguni, I'm not sure what you can do to try and come back from this.
Yeah, and, well, the timeout has been called, and we didn't realise, for whatever reason. I don't think he typed in chat correctly, but apparently he did. Apparently all the players saw it, so that's fair. That's just a production issue. However, it's very good for Inguni now. The 2-goal games going down, it's not like they weren't playing bad, but towards that second game. The second game was a lot better. They held pressure a lot more appropriately than they did in game 1, and they were more formed as a team, which is what you need as an elite team as well, because everything's more formal, everything's more put together, and the teamwork is a lot better than it would be in any other tier. except for Master, of course. And, well, it does look like that Saturnia might be in trouble if Nguni can get their act together.
Yeah, possibly, but at the same time, Saturnia. No, it looks like they've been playing extremely well. PJ obviously being very good, Dash being extremely well so far in these last 2 games. But if you're Saturnia, you're a little more confident right now. You're not trying to do too much. You're not trying to force the issue on Nguni, because otherwise you're going to hurt yourself in the process, because both these teams have played very well. But Nguni have just had a few more mistakes, and it seems as though they're going to cut the timeout a little. That's not really... I thought... Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is fine, as the timeout started slightly late, and it was basically a minute at that point, and, well, they took advantage of what they needed to, and that's fair dues, and PJ, no, well, I feel like the timeout worked, Tezik, as Raz just puts at the back of the net.
Yeah, possibly just a little. That might have actually helped them more than we thought, because they've clearly just made use of it immediately. And Saturnia are wondering, where was this team 2 games ago?
Exactly, and, well, that's how changing your playstyle can work, as Sweaty already getting it past 1. Joker does overcommit slightly as Raz tries to pass it to him. Would have been a very good play if it worked, as, well, there's only one Saturnia defender in net. Raz gets 1 touch, wanted to go for a solo, but he couldn't quite do so, and Joke wants to get the block. He gets 1 touch over 1. Can Sweaty do something? Can't quite do so. Raz now maybe trying to pass, as Dash does get the interception. What does Saturnia do now? They're 1 goal down with 1 minute already gone in the game. PJ gets 1 touch to pass to Dash. He could try double tap this. He goes for it, and it hits the backboard. That is rough for the Saturnia offense.
Yeah, you're gonna have to feel for it. I mean, nearly hit it, but that's a great pass coming out of Dash. Just can't get the shot on target though. And we'll see, can Saturnia keep this pressure on maybe? That's a good demo coming out from Joker. Sweaty now pushing it forward, trying to maybe find something with it. PJ getting another demo. The demos are actually flying out here now, and I'm enjoying that a lot more, because when you get that going, it ruins the defense. And that's a great pass coming out, but Jobs cannot turn it in. He just didn't get enough speed to get there in time, and you're gonna be thinking for Saturnia, will that be costly?
And it very well might be. It's every chance in the series. Might be your last from the game, at least. As, well, Unitox and Nguni do look like they're playing a lot better, but it does look scrappier as well, which does have its pros and cons. As well, there's one last man, and Dash is slightly awkward. He does get the 50, which is fair dues. As Jobs now, his first man, he will try to get the 50, doesn't quite do so. It looks like more of a force. PJ goes into the midfield. Dash gets 50 by Sweaty, and the Nguni defense looks like it stepped up a new level.
Yeah, and Saturnia are wondering what they're meant to do to get a goal in, because since that timeout now, they've looked like a completely different team. They're able to find each other, they're able to get those saves off, and that's a great chance coming out, but Jobs can't find the target again. Saturnia just need to maybe... obviously, they were playing so much better the first 2 games as well, so that we're being a little clinical, but they need to maybe try and find their shooting boots, as there was a pop shot trying to come out. Raz was able to get the touch, gets beat out by Jobs, who has the flip reset, finds the pinch, and that is a beautiful goal coming out from Jobs. Finding the pinch off of the flip reset, and he is going to be very proud of himself for that one.
Well, if you are in Nguni, you are thinking, what the hell has just happened? As Jobs, as many people would probably say, he has just completely peaked, and at the right time, but at the end of the day, they're still 1 goal down in game 3, as well, the kickoff goal comes through, and that's definitely not what you want from a very good play from Jobs.
Yeah, and that play is immediately just stricken from the record as Saturnia getting that goal, or not Saturnia, Inguni getting that goal off the kickoff and nearly finding another one. Raz just couldn't put the shot on target. Sweaty trying to find something, just pops it up high. Raz will try to find the shot again. Jobs is able to make the interception, gets a second touch, grabs the mid boost. Can he do something with it? That's a great 50 coming out, and Jobs, he is going to carry this Saturnia team to the end if he needs to.
This guy does not know what losing means. He sees that he's gone down a goal and he just does not care. He does not care about anyone at this current moment. He said he is going to be the star player of this game, and he's doing it spectacularly as his mechanics are coming to show. Gets into the corner, Sweaty does get the clear out. What can Dash do? He's probably looking for a bang up to Jobs, as I would probably do so, as well as Jobs is playing. Raz now looking for a pinch off the sidewall, doesn't quite get that, and Dash now has a chance. Can he get it? He gets one touch, he does get the second, and out of pretty much nowhere, Saturnia are 3-2 up in game 3.
Yeah, and that is a great play from Dash. Got a little lucky, I will say, on that last touch, because if he didn't get that, he probably wasn't actually scoring. But he won't say no. It's 56 seconds left. It's 3-2. Can Inguni find a way back in, or will Saturnia go back to their game 1, game 2 days and just be solid on the defense as we see Jobs getting a good 50? Sweaty has to make a quick touch. PJ is able to counter it, however, finds the shot. Joker's able to make the save on the line. Can I do anything? That's a bit of a miss there, Sweaty. Getting it over. Jobs find the save, however. And Raz will just take that touch, maybe try to find another. Tried to go for the bump as well, didn't find it. Joker just plays this to the corner, tries to read it, misflips, which is going to be a big mistake for Inguni. They should be able to find a way back if they can keep this pressure up.
Well, as you said, they've made it back as it's 3-3 with 10 seconds left. Talk about scoring at the right time, and well, 10 seconds is as close as you really want to cut it for Inguni, and the game might be going to overtime, and it's probably not what you want as a Saturnia fan, as we have not seen an overtime yet. Well, I was about to say we haven't, and we was close to not. It's Jobs gets one touch, and well, it's the first overtime of Elite playoffs.
Yeah, and that is unlucky there for Saturnia. But now we see Jobs immediately up. Joker finds the 50 on him. PJ can beat out Raz here. Can he do something else? Can he find another touch? He can't get the 50. Does force it high, however. Dash is able to get the touch then. Jobs able to cut out that pass. Maybe try to find a second. Doesn't face out one. PJ is able to try and get a shot off. It's not on target though. And Inguni are able to deal with it fairly easily. Raz keeping control. Little bit of a, I'm not sure what happened there, spin out. Joker does get the 50, however. Can he find the shot off? He does get a really good 50 off of PJ, but no one's there to follow it up. Sweaty has to just take control of it. Can he do something? No. Does get past one at least. PJ gets the, just has to boom it downfield. Maybe find the shot, does find it. Joker's able to get the save. And Inguni are just staying alive.
And, well, that's exactly what you need to do as Inguni, as it seems like Jobs cannot do any wrong in offense. As he wants to get a 50, he does very well with that play. PJ gets a 50 here. Dash, can he do one himself? He does. He goes under the ceiling, which probably isn't what he wanted. Jobs now gets it past one. Can PJ do something to maybe mid-pass? Not necessarily. Jobs, good fake. And Raz, looking what he can do in offense, couldn't quite do so. The counter-attack's coming from Saturnia. Sweaty with possession. Looking for maybe a midfield get past. We couldn't quite do so. No, PJ. Unfortunate 50, I must say. And Dash and Sweaty. Well, Sweaty might be able to do something here. Couldn't quite do so. And, well, it looks like a back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Both teams kind of just wanting to play a little safer. Joker did get bumped, but that honestly helped him out. Does get a good 50 on job. Sweat is able to take control, finds the flip reset. Can he do anything? No, it's a good 50 coming out. Dash missing the ball originally. Does get a 50 and bump out. There's a little touch coming out, and Jobs has to make the quick save there, otherwise that could have just been game 3 over and done. And we can see Dash as well, again, having to make another save, gets the 50, however Joker's able to push forward, finds the demo, tried to get the bump, doesn't get it. And we see now Jobs take it to the sky with a little bit of control, gets a great dunk over, and Joker has to quickly turn on it, otherwise Dash had an open net there.
And, well, as we go further into overtime, 2 minutes and 50 seconds left. Oh, into overtime, I do apologise. Well, Dash nearly peaked, but it seems like the timeout has successfully worked for Nguni, even if they do not win this game, as well, they've survived a much longer time than they have in game 1 and 2, which is definitely impressive considering the offensive caliber of Satania at this present moment. And well, Jobs and Dash successfully able to say that they are both danger men for the Satania roster, and you don't really want any of them on their own. The ball, a shot nearly came through Nguni, but again, Jobs just is impenetrable anywhere he goes. Now, open net pretty much. Dash, you just get one touch. Sweaty wants one, does get one, but gets intercepted by Jobs. Now, is this a shot? Not quite. Dash with the interception, and again, the momentum just keeps going back and forth between these two teams.
Yeah, but as it stands currently, Nguni having 15 shots, and Saturnia only having 12, showing that the Saturnia team is needing to keep this pressure from being too much for them. They have 9 saves currently. They've just had to do so much to try and keep that ball out of their own net. And so far it is working. Joker's able to keep this out of their own half, actually. And that's a big miss, though, from Jobs. That's a little bit of a 50 between Raz and Sweaty,
no.
sorry. That's a good touch coming out, but no one's there for the follow-up shot. And Sweaty can just take this one. He gets the flip reset. Jobs able to make the save. Dash able to avoid the bump and get the save. And both teams, they've just basically played another game.
They have, and for some reason, the shots just cannot come through. And, well, I think it does come to one thing, and that one thing, in my opinion, would have to be the fact that Nguni are actually challenging a defense. And as soon as I say that, Saturnia have just won game 3.
Yeah, Sat and Dash getting a really good pop and finding that net, which will send his team to quadruple match point. Now, both of us had Nguni at least winning 2 games. How has this gone so one-sided so far?
Honestly, it's just up to... Oh no. Systema Solaris has just called a timeout for the memes.
No.
What is this?
What?
What is this?
That is actually disrespectful.
Honestly,
why are they doing that? Watch this.
I don't think
their
I've seen
downfall.
anything like this in RSC. They've gone up 3-0 in the series, and they've just decided, hey, it's alright, it's fine, we've won this anyway, let's give them a timeout and see what they can do. And, well, it might be a breath of fresh air for Nguni, as, well, they have an extra bit of time to decide what their next plan is for game 4. Well, it's going to be hard. It's going to be extremely hard for them to come back here. I mean, Joko with 800 points nearly. It's like...
That is so rude from Saturnia. And there was no need. This could be how they end up losing, might I add. Because, obviously, all 3 games have been a 1-goal deficit. 1.
Yeah.
So, it could have gone either way, any time. if Saturnia end up losing this series, it'll be because of this.
I do completely agree, and well, for me, it resets the tempo between the two teams, and that's kind of what killed the momentum of Saturnia in Game 3. However, they did manage to pull through, so again, it is a breath of fresh air for Nguni, as I do feel like Saturnia have just kind of choked a little bit. However, because of how they played throughout the last 3 games, I honestly, I do feel like they will be fine.
I don't know, because again, that entire time it could have gone the other way, and especially if Nguni have been playing as well as they have been, it is a very big toss-up, because it just depends realistically. If Saturnia make one mistake, Nguni are through.
But this undoubtedly shows the team's resolve and the team's mentality that this game is completely fine. They're having fun, and they decided to disrespect the other team for memes. So it does say something. It shows that Saturnia are actually enjoying themselves on the pitch, which is a good thing for them. And well, timeout has been pulled off, so I'm gonna tell both the teams to go as we go into Game 4 here. And well, let's see if this is a blunder from Saturnia.
Yeah, and as we are now getting started, Dave, quadruple match point. Will they find a way just to end it here, or will this have been a large mistake coming through from them? Dash getting a good 50, Joker just kind of has to hit it away, doesn't do too much though with it, and PJ gets a good shot on, Raz is able to make the save, and that's another shot coming out, it hits the post from Jobs. Dash has to get the 50, Joker's able to get the touch, fake out Jobs then as well, PJ passing it to Dash, trying to pass it back, but I think that might have been a little miscommunication coming through. And Jobs will take to the sky, gets the ceiling reset. I think he misused it, however. And Joker will get that away.
Honestly, I think that is the first time I've seen Jobs actually just completely get rid of himself on offense for the first time. And, well, it's not good luck in the first minute of Game 4. Well, the pressure has been all on Nguni, as the Saturnia side have been very well keeping up their rotation. Dash now, looking for a mid-pass, couldn't quite do so, and, well, Sweaty's looking to alter the hopes of the, he has completely destroyed the Saturnia defense.
Yeah, and as I said, it gave Nguni more time to kind of register what was going wrong and how they can kind of counteract how well Saturnia have been playing. And as it stands, obviously we still have a lot to go in this game, but Nguni, they might be able to find a way back in. Obviously we've only had, I believe it's been one reverse sweep in the play-ins ever in RSC history, and that was Owlets versus Incas. In the prospect tier, so it wasn't even elite, so you kind of need to be a little more cautious around that. But we see Joker has to bang that one away, and again Raz he tries to take control, realistically has to bang it away. Dash able to kind of try and take control, Sweaty with a miss, Joker's last man back, takes very good control of it however, but PJ's able to intercept that little flick up. Sweaty gets beat out by Dash, Raz misses, Joker has to take control, try to find a way to get around one, he does, tries to get around two, can't do it. PJ just clears that one away, and Sweaty, he'll just have to slow down the play and maybe just try to counteract something. Dash nearly getting the double, but just not able to find the target currently, Saturnia.
And, well, if you're an Nguni fan, that is kind of what you want to see. However, the pressure has been coming on, and that's really not what you want to see, and it's an open net. PJ's missed! It's an open net! That might cost him the game.
I made a promise to someone that during Master I'd say this. Obviously, this isn't Master, but I feel like that's the right time to say it after PJ missing that open net. This is just Academy, but better. Because what are you doing, PJ? Missing that shot. It genuinely feels like it might just be Academy, but with a little bit more max. That's about it.
Maybe. I mean, every tier is pretty much just Academy with more max, and because at the end of the day, open nets, they never improve throughout the tiers, as demonstrated by PJ, under the pressure as well of quad match point, trying to get this done. Well, maybe the open net's not needed, as Dash just, the accuracy is unreal.
Yeah, Dash has kind of just bailed PJ out of jail there a little bit. And PJ, he has to thank him so hard for that one, because should have scored, should have already been at 1-1. But now we have a minute 20 left. Who will be able to kind of come out of this in time to win this game? Will it be a quick sweep for Saturnia, or will it be the start of a reverse sweep for Nguni? We see Jobs taking control of this. Does get a 50, but Joker gets it away. Sweaty is able to clear it down now. Can we see Dash do anything? He tries to find Jobs. Was a little behind him, so Jobs had to kind of go up the wall. Sweaty's found Joker, tried to find him back, but can't get the shot off.
And the shot accuracy, however good the first goal was, it doesn't compensate for the second. That hasn't come through.
Oh.
And, well, PJ, he's just reconciled with his fans about that goal, because, well, if he didn't score that, he would have ended the series on total embarrassment through that miss of an open net, and I'm sure a lot of the elite players will not allow him to let that down throughout his whole RSC career. As I would not be surprised. And Dash, he looks for a third, but in my opinion, it does look like it's going to be another 1-goal game.
It could. It definitely could be, and looks to be going Saturnia's way. Dash trying to find the pinch, doesn't get it. So he's able to take control. Raz now has to just try find something. We have 8 seconds left before their series and their.
Oh, he's back.
He's back.
I don't know what's happening, Jebs.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, well, we're
kind of thinking, don't worry. Are you okay?
Honestly,
We noticed.
this series has
It'd
just
be nice
been.
if we could, like, get some stats up, maybe.
But yeah,
Please,
anyway,
because we did not see them.
Chubbs is putting the stacks back up for us, which is greatly appreciated. And, well, it has been a very good series. And, well, the domination of Saturnia, it shows a very good intuition that's going to be coming forward from the series
There we
into
go.
the next game. And, well, now that I can see the stats, you can see that, well, it has been a very cool series. However, the saves has been a lot better. The ball possession has been fairly similar as well. And, well, it's only 4 goals that has actually decided the series, which does show the quality of Nguni as a team as well. And, well, as we have just seen, Saturnia look like they could make another run.
Yeah, definitely so. They played so well, but in Nguni, they will feel very, very hard done by. They feel as though they should have took at least one series because they played so well, but it was just those little mistakes that ruined them. And we see there, Dash getting the MVP for the series, 6 goals, 7 saves, 15 shots in just the 4 matches. He's played extremely well for this Saturnia team.
And this was one of the people that I have highlighted from at least game 1, the end of game 1, that he was extremely solid. I mean, he's just played very well throughout the series, and, well, I do know him outside of, well, this series and Elite, and he is a very good player, and it shows, right? And, well, I'm surprised that Jobs wasn't a little bit closer. However, it does come to show that Dash might be one of the best players in the league.
Yeah, completely is. I also know Dash outside, and he is a very, very good player. And as this game went, both of us were we kind of overestimated Nguni clearly. But I suppose that's what happens. That's those nerves. And as we are done this series, we will have Saturnia versus the Alpha Surge roster. I'm not sure what their name is. I'm not gonna lie. I feel bad for them, but
It's a
my bad.
Leaders. I can't pronounce it. I'm bad at names. Whoops.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Anyways, it is Saturnia versus the Alpha Surge side, and I believe you're casting that one, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, you are correct. I am casting that one and 2.
Perfect. Well, we will be right back, and one of us will definitely be joining you for that series.
Alright, thank you very much.
Up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh. I thought you were the one for me, that's why I give you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas, oh you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will cater to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
Welcome back, everyone, to the RSC for the second match of the Elite Play-ins here. I'm Char, alongside me is Wilkie, and very quickly, before we get into this, talking about this next match, Wilkie, give us a quick run-through of what we just saw.
Well, we have just saw an amazing sweep from Satania. It was undoubtedly very close between the two teams, and it would have been a lot closer than it did look like if you just saw the stats and being like, oh, well, you know, Satania swept. They haven't lost a game, you know, they're just a lot better. They weren't exactly a lot better, but they did play very well. Same with Nguni, but unfortunately for Nguni, Satania has made it through without a loss.
Yeah, and Saturnia, they have one more game until they get through to those playoffs on Saturday, and that will be up against this Alpha Surge roster. And yeah, we see our play-in bracket here. So as you said, Saturnia getting that sweep on Nguni. Now they do play Fernagiz. That's what I'm going with. In this second round to qualify for Saturday to get at a chance of lifting that trophy. And then later on in the night, I can't remember which upper bracket series we have. Probably should have checked that one. I think it's Charles versus Summit, but
Yes,
I could be wrong on that. Okay,
yeah.
good.
You are correct. Yeah. But yeah, it will be a very good series this game, as well as we do have the teams here, and Alpha Surge being 4th in their conference and Sistema Solaris being 6th in the conference. It does kind of show that Alpha Surge has been slightly more consistent throughout the series, throughout league play, and well, I watched the stream and Sistema Solaris made it out on like a tightrope pretty much. It was very close throughout the tier, and well, they made it into play-ins, and they're playing extremely well. So unless Alpha Surge can completely dismantle the Sistema Solaris offense, then well, they might be in some trouble.
Yeah, and I believe that Sistema Solaris, those player stats games do kind of confirm that for me. They did make a roster change quite late on into the season, and I believe I saw Yannick saying in Twitch chat earlier that they hadn't lost since week 6, was it? And I've been hearing from a few other sources that they are a very strong team, so I think that if this team had been together from the start, they would not be in that 6th position, so they are definitely not a team to scoff at. And a lot of that, I just want to highlight one player, is down to Dash with that ridiculous goals to game record. 46 goals to 32 games is quite something. But then on the side of Alpha Surge, you have a similar, albeit slightly less impressive record on the side of Raza, being 52 goals in 44 games. And yeah, should be a very interesting matchup. We'll see what players can step up. We do have all the players in the lobby, so we will get this started very shortly. But before that, we do need to give some predictions here from the casters. Wilkie, what are you going?
I think this will be a fairly close series, and well, I think Sistema Solaris is going to take it 4-2 as my last prediction, but I do feel like Alpha Surge is probably a better roster than Inguni, so we'll have to see. What about you Charizard?
I am going to be a bit bold. I'm going to agree with you on this Eternia. I'm going to give them a sweep over this Alpha Surge team. I rate this team very highly. I watched them play a bit in that series before. They looked very good. They've been on very, very good form. And I think they'll sweep through this Alpha Surge roster, but I don't think it'll be quite as convincing as you might expect. I think it'll be one of those sweeps where you're like, this team definitely could have got a game. But we do have all of our players in the lobby, so we should be able to get this game underway very, very soon to find out what team will make it to Saturday. The team that wins makes it to the playoffs. The team that loses will be going home now. Neither team wants to end their season here, but for one of these rosters, this is their last chance.
And that is exactly it. Now, the first 5 minutes of the first game is going to kick off, and straight away, well, Vegas, or Alpha Surge, I'll just say Alpha Surge, has won the kickoff. Jobs now has possession of the ball. What can he do? We saw what he could do last series, but what can he do against the Alpha Surge defense? Raza gets what? He makes 2 commit. PJ puts into the midfield. Is there any Saturnia players to commit to that? There was not. Now PJ, he puts into the corner, roll back noodles, was there, he gets one touch, Jobs now gets a pass in the midfield, a double commit from Saturnia, which was kind of what we have seen throughout the last series. Now with Jobs, he gets one touch, Rahu puts into the midfield, no one was quite there, and now it's an open net. Can Dash capitalise? He does get a shot off, and rollback noodles gets back in time, and well, it seems like the defense of Alpha Surge might be slightly better than Inguni.
Yeah, but you saw it was so open there, and Dash, he just took too long with it. He really could have capitalized on that one if he had gone just that little bit quicker, and maybe a missed opportunity there. Hopefully it won't come back to bite them. But what I'm looking for heavily from this Alpha Surge roster, as Dash keeps that one out, is something you mentioned before the series, the Triple R synergy. Surely that'll help somehow. The Triple R synergy, we got to see them playing as a team, as a trio to beat this Saturnia roster, because Nguni couldn't do it, and they've got to work together to try and get this, and now they have a chance here maybe. J-Wobs touches it out, that's a shot onto the net, and Raza finds that one in underneath the defender to put Alpha Surge 1-0 up.
And well, they've just shown why they were 4th in their conference. The structure of this team, and no, it was a rebuild from mid-season as well as Saturnia here, and well, the structure from the Triple R synergy might just be what they need to take advantage of the faults of the Saturnia defense. However, the offense, there is no fault there, as Rollback Noodles just get the 50. PJ now. He does get one touch, however, he has just given Rahu the ball. Isn't really what you want to see, but Jobs! The pass came through Dash, and Jobs just slots it at the top of the net. Isn't this just what you want to see if you are predicting Saturnia?
100%. A lovely infield pass, and the speed on that play made it so hard for the defense to set up, because at this level, slow infield passes probably won't work all too well. That's a bit of an open net miss there from Dash. Maybe seen a bit too many of those tonight. I saw a few on the first series when I was watching that. But yeah, a slow infield pass at this level is never really going to work. But the speed that Saturnia did that with, Raza pre-jump, no, double tap, that one's down.
No.
Roll back Noodles can finish it off, and I had to cut myself off there because that was way too exciting for me to keep talking. Rollback Noodles manages to finish that one up and put Alpha Surge back in the lead.
Well, Raza and Roll, both known for their mechanics, of course, throughout RSC. Well, they've just completely outplayed the Saturnia defense, and, well, one goal down, they need to take it back. 2 minutes and 23 seconds. That's very possible. Dash now does slot it through the defense. Now, what can Jobs do? He does get one touch, and Raza does get it past one. Now, you just put it in the midfield. Rahu gets one touch, puts it in the corner. Midfield pass. Rollback Noodles nearly gets a shot off. Doesn't quite do so, however. Now, Rahu in defense. He's zero boost. Gets one touch. And a little bit awkward from the Alpha Surge side here. And it might be a shot. Not quite. And, well, it does seem like the Saturnia offense isn't quite what it seemed to be last series.
They're not quite carrying that momentum coming through. Maybe it is Alpha Surge just being that little bit more solid than Nguni, that little bit more hard to break down. I guess we'll have to see, but a minute and a half left. There's plenty time still as Roll can save that one away. Dash back to PJ, pops that one up, but Rahu's right there with it. And now Raza has the chance, gets the shot, and finds the goal. Alpha Surge firmly in the driver's seat for game one.
And well, this is exactly what you wanted from a master player. That was literally master last season, and he's come down and, well, he's showing his quality here and just getting the goal, being solid, having that rotation that does come from that master player style. Well, maybe it wasn't quite enough, as one player isn't all you need in defense. Rollback Noodles doesn't quite do so, and the rotation from Raza doesn't put him in the position to attempt to save that even. So, in my opinion, a pretty free goal on the side of Saturnia. Now, what can they do to bring it back to 3-3?
Yeah, Saturnia definitely won't complain about that. Alpha Surge looking to restore their 2-goal advantage, but J-Wobs can take this one out. Can't get it past Roll though. PJ beats out Raza. Now Rahu, a bit awkward here, is reversing. Looks for the backboard. Who's there? It's dropping down in front of the net, but Raza's first to it. J-Wob ceiling pinch, looking for the double, but Roll can cut that one off from a great clip there. Now PJ looks for the mid pass, but Dash is beaten out, and now who's there to it? J-Wobs opts to leave it for Rahu. Just saves a fairly tame shot, and now PJ a big bang all the way, but Roll can save that one out. 30 seconds here for Alpha Surge to hold on, and they want to just keep this ball in the Saturnia side, not let them have any sniff in this last 20 seconds. PJ can't get the touch there. J-Wobs gets it over one. This is a chance. This has to go in. Dash to the backboard. PJ can get the touchdown, but who's there for it? Rahu can just clear that one away, and the time is ticking down. They don't have much time to waste. J-Wobs hits that one high. Dash into the sidewall for the double. All it needs to do is hit the ground, but this one's going across the net. Raza keeps it out for now, but maybe one last chance. PJ across to Dash, a double commit from them. J-Wobs to the backboard. Who's there? It's Dash! And the 0-second gauntlet. They keep it up for so long and find that equalizer and send us to overtime in game one.
That is absolute perfection play from Saturnia. Getting that onto the backboard and not folding underneath that pressure to score that goal just gives them the chance that Razzle wasn't expecting. Now Jobs, he wants one touch, gets past, and that might be an open net. No! If I'm a Saturna fan, I would not be happy.
I'm not happy. I predicted them to sweep. I was a Saturnia fan. Oh god. Don't know how that one's gone in after the excitement of that last goal, but they all count, and Alpha Surge, they managed to take this game 1 after a 0-second goal, conceding an equalizer on 0 seconds, to come back into it like that and get that win so quickly in overtime is really, really huge for them. Saturnia, they'll feel a little bit hard done by. They felt like they maybe could have got a bit more out of that game, but looking at these player stats for that game 1, Raza stepped up in a big, big way. Almost 700 points, 3 goals, 1 assist, involved in all 4 Alpha Surge goals. Rollback Noodles stepping up great as well on the defensive end with 4 saves. A bit lacking on the stats from Rahu, but they got the win in the end. So if they can keep playing like that, then they definitely won't complain if it keeps working. But if you're the side of Saturnia, what do you need to do, Wilkie, to try and get back into this, get back that momentum from the Nguni series and get the win back in this series?
It's a very similar problem to what I saw last series with Saturnia, and well, they haven't really worked on it, and one of those main things was they weren't really following each other up on defense, or well, on offense rather. Of course, they did on that overtime play. However, it wasn't quite implemented throughout the game, which, if you're a team, you kind of want to be consistent for your teammates, and well, if you're not that, then your teammates don't know what to trust, and that's a massive thing within a league.
I 100% agree. And now we do get underway with this game 2. Saturnia looking to bounce back. They don't want to go out here. They don't want their journey to end. Their late season dash for the play-ins managed to make it, and they won't want to let up here. They want to give it their best shot and go all the way. But Alpha Surge, a team that's always been there and thereabouts all season long, they don't want to end here either. Both of these teams riding so much on this series, on each of these games. Every 5 minutes here, so crucial, and we'll see who can come out on top. J-Wobs looking to take this one forward onto the sidewall, plays that one into the backline. Roll can touch that one to the corner, gets the second as well, but PJ, a great dunk, and now this one's floating dangerously, but the Alpha Surge defense deals with it, and now has an offense. A lovely shot coming through from Raza, but that one's saved out. Now the counter maybe for Saturnia, goes for it, but Raza, after putting that great shot on net, gets back, and another save. Raza continuing his game 1 dominance and is everywhere right now.
And he's really stepping up for this Alpha Surge roster. I don't think I've ever seen this guy play like this. He's really stepping up at the right time for the right team. And, well, Roll here wants to get a touch. He does get 1. Jobs has to get the 50. He does. And, well, the pressure is on for the Saturnia roster as, again, that well-structured team out of Alpha Surge, it's doing wonders. Now, Dash just 1v3, and is that a goal? It's not. Oh! What a save!
How has that not gone in? How are Saturnia not 1-0 up? They may live to regret some of these missed chances. They sure did in that game 1, but J-Wobs doesn't miss that one. You can only let Saturnia have so many clear-cut opportunities before they finally put one away, and J-Wobs does just that and breaks the deadlock in game 2.
And it's just a masterclass from Dash, getting it through towards his teammates, and well, that's what I was saying, that Alpha Surge does have a chance, but they didn't really do so. It was more of an awkward kind of moment between the two teams, and it's in the Alpha Surge half here, and what I really want to see is that be smart about what you do, because 3v1 situation on a counter-attack isn't exactly what you need as a Saturnia fan, and Rahu, he does get one touch over, so he's also doing pretty well on defense, which is what we have come to expect from this family over here. Now, rollback, you just get the pass mid, pretty fair from that dude. Now, Jobs, Dash, wanting to get this touch, just get it past one, roll back with the clear. Rahu already pre-jumping, getting the mid pass to Razza. Can he get it? No, he cannot. The save has come through on the Saturnia side. Now it's pretty much an open net. It's not capitalised on through Dash. It is still a chance, not quite on it. And, well, if you are Saturnia, you do need to capitalise on that because that was a massive chance.
Yeah, neither team are really able to capitalize on their chances right now. Maybe this one here will go in, but Dash cut out by Roll to the sidewall. Big clear from Rahu, but PJ's right there to meet it. Not the touch he would have wanted, but J-Wob's right there to follow him up. And that's what you were mentioning last game. They weren't really following each other up, and I feel like this game they've been doing that a lot better. They've been kind of pinning back Alpha Surge a bit more, being there, the third man maybe being a bit more aggressive, a bit more willing to sit higher and keep that pressure on, rather than just one big clear being all that Alpha Surge need to send them right back into their own half. And that's what's benefited them, and that's what's got them into this position of 1 minute remaining. They need to hold on to this lead, and they'll definitely look to get another one, because a 1-goal lead in Rocket League is never a stable thing. Now Alpha Surge are coming forward. This one's popped high. Who's there? Roll. It gets a fairly soft touch, but a bump in the net comes through from Raza. None of Alpha Surge were really ready for that one. No one willing to commit. Now Dash on the sidewall tries to take it forward. 30 seconds left here for Saturnia to hold on.
And, well, Alpha Surge are doing everything they can. However, in certain situations, it does look like they don't know what to do. And what a save from Dash. If you are Saturnia, you must be counting your lucky stars, because Dash is always there for the save, for the defensive masterclasses we've seen throughout this game. Now PJ, can he get one more? It's pretty much open. The double tap's coming through. Not quite. As Rahu, he just prevents it. 0 seconds left. Can Saturnia get it on the ground? And they do. This is what Saturnia needed, and the momentum has shifted.
Yeah, and I think all in all that was a fairly evenly matched game. Neither team really getting the better of the other one. Alpha Surge with a few more shots, but in total, it was a very evenly matched, and it was that one moment from Saturnia where they managed to break through that proved decisive and caused the difference. And I've just seen in chat from Hypnos that he thinks this is going to go a Game 7, and with how this series is looking so far, with how evenly matched it has been so far, I'm inclined to agree with him, and I for one would love to see it.
Oh, who wouldn't want to see a Game 7 in play-ins? However, it went the same way from Inguni, and what we've come to learn about Saturnia is they do not like to score more goals than are necessary, which is a good and a bad thing, and their defense does back them up on that. And we will have to see as we go into Game 3, as I do believe that Saturnia is probably going to keep this momentum going into this game, and well, we'll just have to see.
Game 3 gets underway. We're back to level terms. First 2 games done and dusted. We're playing a best of 5 now. PJ looks for that ball, gets a 50. That one goes high. Roll can clear that one off the backboard. This is a chance maybe for a counter attack for Alpha Surge. Raza doesn't get the shot in initially, but just muscles his way through the defense.
Well, I said that, and it didn't come true, unfortunately. The double commit from the Saturnia players just made it so that Raza scored, sorry, so that the defender really had no option to do what he needed to, and, well, that's the goals that Alpha Surge have been scoring. It hasn't exactly been individual perfection, it has just been those team players and the ability to counter, and it's an open net. What a save from Rollback. He does not care about any sort of pressure. He does not care about any sort of expectation. He can just wall it to make sure it doesn't go on target. And, well, if you're an Alpha Surge fan, this is the type of person you want on your roster.
Yeah, and just the way that he had two Saturnia players bearing down on him, he was coming back towards the ball across in front of his net, and somehow he's managed to keep it out. And Alpha Surge, they've done that quite a few times when against all the odds, they've somehow managed to keep the ball out, and those clutch moments might just be what you need to make it to Championship Saturday here. But so that is a long, long way. We have a long road ahead of us in this series before we can decide which one of those teams will be making that dash. Big clear forward. Roll on the backboard. Looks for this, but no boost here. A bit awkward. Leaves it out for Rahu. That one was a bit dangerous. J-Wobs couldn't find the target on that occasion. Now Rahu clears that one out. A 50 in the midfield. Both teams playing a bit scrappy here. J-Wobs taking it forward. Rahu can clear that one right high, but it's straight into the hands of PJ. Looking for the reset. Doesn't quite get it, and our roll comes down the other way. A double commit from Saturnia here, but not really punished. J-Wobs just throws that one straight into the hands of Raza. Neither team really taking command, taking control. Whenever they seem to get the ball, they're just kind of throwing it away, maybe getting it past one, and then just throwing it right back to the opponent. Roll, a high touch there. J-Wobs forward, a passing play coming out from Saturnia, but saved away by two Alpha Surge defenders. Now Dash looking for the drop down. Raza into the middle. Who's there for it? Roll can beat out the defender. This one's off the backboard. This one's dangerous. Raza doesn't find the target. Just over halfway gone. Alpha Surge keep their lead.
And they might not keep it for long.
The
Jobs. The Jobs effect. Would anyone doubt him? He does not care with the absolutely absurd angle from the backboard. And if you're Saturnia, you are absolutely buzzing with that, because halfway through the game it wasn't looking too good, and now they have the chance to make it 2-1 in their favour. And well, I could see it happening with maybe some good defensive action here, as they do get the 50 and the bang. It does work out quite well. Raza, however, with possession, with a shot, PJ does get the 50 here. Dash now with a little bit of time, as Roll has effectively 100 now. You just get the bang here. PJ. Ooh, a little bit of a double commit from the Saturnia players is not what you want to see. Jobs trying to get the mid pass here, going off the ceiling. Doesn't quite make it happen, as Rollback Noodles does get the read. Now, and no one is back from Saturnia, which is definitely not what you want to see here, as PJ, he does manage and gets a 50. It could be dangerous here. Jobs gets one touch, doesn't quite get it. Dash with another. Is anyone back for Saturnia to counter this? There are, and Jobs with the 50 goes for another one. And well, for whatever reason, it does seem like both of the teams decided to make it more of a stalemate.
So evenly matched right now. It feels like it's just hanging in the balance, looking for one player to make that difference, one player to really step up, and maybe that could be here, but Rahu right there to save that one away. J-Wobs now, he's already scored one great shot, looking to score another, and does just that. J-Wobs, two absolute bangers in this game. That one even better than the first. The Zen shot, the ceiling pinch into double tap, absolutely unreal from J-Wobs.
I have never seen this from this guy either. He cannot be stopped, and well, he's going for another 50. He doesn't quite get so, but this just shows how good of a pickup Jobs was towards the end of the season, because this guy has so much star potential on this roster, as well, hopefully he doesn't troll here. Luckily he doesn't. He gets it past one, and Dash here, looking for a second goal, doesn't quite get it, and it's crazy, but game 3 does go to Saturnia.
Yeah, and all the plaudits that game have to go to J-Wobs. Those 2 moments of absolute magic from him coming in, and just unreal plays. 2 double taps, one of them with a ceiling pinch in just for flair. And yeah, stepped up when his team needed him and got his team the win and got his team the lead in this series. 560 points on the for J-Wobs here. His teammates getting under 200 apiece. And yeah, just a massive, massive game from him. 2 massive, massive moments. And Saturnia, after that game 1, they are looking good here. They are in the lead in this series. There is not a timeout call from Alpha Surge, which I think is wise. This series has been so close. All of these games, even the 2 they've lost, have been so close. So this series really hangs in the balance, and saving your timeout if you do lose this game is a fairly wise decision, I think. But yeah, this series, Wilkie, it's just so back and forth, and I really hope we see a Game 7, because this series sure deserves one.
I completely agree, and we have just been notified that one of the Saturnia players have crashed, therefore we will be waiting a little bit to allow them to continue. However, this series is undoubtedly going to be a series determined from individual excellence and teamwork. The individual excellence is represented through Saturnia, their pop-off plays, their individual excellence, and the team environment throughout Saturnia, as showcased last series, is very positive. Now we're going into game, and well, we have to hope that, well, for my prediction at least, that Alpha Surge can get one more game, and well, we'll have to see, as if their team can prevail, then we'll be in for potential Game 7.
As has been pointed out in chat, my prediction is already in the bin, so I'm just hoping for a Game 7. J-Wobs doesn't want to take us there, though. He wants to get this series finished as quickly as possible, missing the open net at the start, but he just wanted to add another double tap to his resume there, and manages to open the scoring in very speedy fashion for this Saturnia team and get them off to a lovely start. Rahu, though, looking to answer right back. Can't quite do it himself. Well, that is why you have teammates in this game, to be there to follow up your missed shots, and Raza does just that. And it's like the first 27 seconds never happened, Wilkie.
I know, and well, it shows how back and forth these 2 teams can be, and they both showcase a prime example of what I was saying right at the beginning of the game, which is one team is profoundly team based, and the other one is based on individual critique. Now, can Saturnia take it around? They can. 1 up from Alpha Surge, roll back. Rahu trying to get the mid pass, doesn't get the touch he wanted, in my opinion, as Jobs just get the 50. Rahu does recognise that he needs to challenge sooner or later, and therefore he does a little bit sooner. Raza goes back, Dash, looking for another mid pass, doesn't quite get it. Rahu could clear, however, it does go to one of the Saturnia players. Jobs looking for a mid pass, Dash looking for a second touch, couldn't quite get it. Now PJ, he is there to collect, looking for a solo pit, just get it past one. Jobs is there, and Jobs gets the shot off from the extraordinary pass from PJ. I was saying about Alpha Surge being the team-based play style, but I might have been mistaken.
That is disgusting from PJ. Lovely flip reset, and J-Wobs once again the goal scorer for Saturnia right there to finish it off and put them back in the lead. And maybe they could add another one here, but Rahu sends it down the other end. Raza passes that one into the middle. Roll a bit low boost, can't get a great touch, but Rahu's right there to put the shot onto net. J-Wobs can save that one, and PJ gets it out from that dangerous area right in front of their goal. But this pressure is still on for Alpha Surge. That's a pass into the middle, but Rahu can't find it. He had almost all of the goal to aim at. There was a defender in net, but he was so stagnant, no momentum in the middle of the net. And he just slams it into the crossbar. Really should be doing better with that one, in my opinion. J-Wobs taking the cross a bit dangerous. This one's 50 high. Who's there for it? It's Raza. That one's into the middle, but J-Wobs right there to clear it away. Alpha Surge missed opportunities left and right here. PJ now passing that one to Dash. And I think they heard you, Wilkie. I think they heard you say this is team plays for Alpha Surge against solo plays for Saturnia. And they heard you, and they just wanted to prove you wrong and show everyone watching and us, this team can do it all.
And this team, after this performance, they are playing so well. And, well, another goal comes through, and you can't get your words out and before this team gets another goal. And quite simply, they are unstoppable at the moment. The momentum they have carried through the last series and the last two games even, they're just continuing, and they're continuing to steamroll. They're like a train that cannot be stopped. However, 2 minutes on the clock, there's 3 goals that's needed to get the overtime for Alpha Surge. Is it possible with Raza getting the clear out? Rollback, no, just getting one touch. Raza, his hope. He gets the shot with 0 boost.
The backflip coming out from Dash. He definitely would have beat Raza to that ball. But when Raza did get that shot with such low boost, the finish is unreal. Slots it right into the top of the net. J-Wobs absolutely no shot at saving that one. It gets a lifeline for Alpha Surge, and with just under 2 minutes left, they have plenty time to get back into this one, but they do need to get something quick here. Roll into the side. This one's bouncing into the middle. Rahu gets beat out by J-Wobs, but Raza's bearing down. This is dangerous! And it's a goal. Raza puts Alpha Surge within 1.
And Raza has done extremely well to get it past Jobs, and, well, PJ's not helping himself with that positioning, unfortunately, and it leads to losing a 2-goal lead into a 1-goal lead. And, well, now it's dangerous for Saturnia. They have previously just been completely dominating, and all of a sudden it's this close, and it's really not what you want to see. And especially with a chance coming through, and it's an open net. It can Rahu score, he doesn't. However, it's a pass to roll back, doesn't quite get it. Now on the counter attack, Dash doesn't do what he needs to do, which was a mid pass, as his team was right there. It was open again for Alpha Surge this time, doesn't quite get through, and it does seem like both teams are kind of foiling this.
J-Wobs cross. Raza has the chance here to the backboard. Roll can't quite finish that one off, but J-Wobs is demoed. This is the chance. 1 man down for Saturnia. Gets it into the middle. That one pops high. J-Wobs doesn't make connection. Raza taking this one up. Gets control. Looking for the flip reset. PJ, the pre-jump, blocks it out. Roll. Pass to Rahu. And Rahu is there and manages to put this one away for Alpha Surge. We're back level 4-4. 33 seconds left. Who can get the winning goal?
Honestly, it is very hard to tell that, and the problem is, however, is I feel like the Eagles have gotten to the Saturnia players. They have stopped actively pursuing the ball as second man, which isn't what they needed, as, well, there could have been a second man to prevent that last goal and there wasn't. So, can they prevent this mistake from happening again? 10 seconds left. Pressure on Saturnia by the Alpha Surge side. However, 3 seconds now, and no one's really on the ball. It's 1 second. Raza gets one touch. PJ wants to get it down, and he does. He does well. Now, a lot of this might depend on this kickoff. Dash wins it. However, it's not on target. The demo might be coming through. Doesn't quite. Jobs tries to get the 50. However, Roll did well. Now, he does get one touch. Dash has a lot of time, and he has control. He doesn't get the control touch he wanted. And now, it does go midfield. Two of the Saturnia players missing out of nowhere is not what you want to see. They might be slightly rattled. Now, the 50 just goes midfield, and rollback noodles nearly getting the shot.
Turning in this game, it feels like I've signed the crossbar to their roster. Another great signing from Yannick there, and it's really going well. Now Rahu, the new signing, can't stop it that time. Rahu manages to slot that one away and levels up this series. We're 2-2 here, and what I've got to say about this series is this is probably the most back and forth series I've seen since the double Game 7 Prospect Grand Final. So I'm really not sure which way this series is going to go. Every game has been one goal. 2 of them have been overtime. Both teams responding to each other, both teams playing well, both teams making mistakes, and it's just so back and forth, and it feels like either team could really just kind of lock in, step up, and take that win. And just looking for just a few players to really make that difference and take away this series.
Yes, and it's very important that we mention this because both of the teams aren't bad teams. They're both very high caliber for the tier as well. Even though they may have only gone pretty low within their conferences, it doesn't take away from how well they have been playing. However, I do have to mention this. Saturnia, they have been playing very well for the past 4 games. In the last half of that game, it looked like they let off the gas. What we need to see from this roster, if they do want to fulfill my prediction, of course, they need to step it up. They can't let off the gas, and they can't leave it to be like, yes, we've won this game, because you haven't until it's over. And this is what we need to see from Saturnia going into game 5. Now, PJ just get 50 by Rahu, goes into the midfield. Raza doesn't get the touch he wants. Rollback Nobles does get one off the ceiling, and bad position going into a counter attack for Saturnia. Raza does get one touch, tries to get into the midfield. Rahu does whiff it slightly, and well, pressure might be coming off for Saturnia as Alpha Surge has done extremely well. Jobs does get the 50. Raza, can he read it? He does. Dash does get one touch. Jobs looking for the demo. He does get it. Peach doesn't quite get it on target. And instantly, in the first minute, it looks to be a very close game.
Jay looking for the air dribble, doesn't quite get the control there. Rahu sends that one right down towards the Saturnian net, but this one's sent away. Raza doesn't have the touch there. This is dangerous. PJ taking it forward, looking to put that pressure on. Dash opts out of that one and gets beat to it for that. Roll now, can't quite get to that ball quick enough. J-Wob sends it all the way down and gets the follow-up, looking for the fake. That one's not in, but PJ follows it up very nicely, but that play is all J-Wobs.
And it's possibly one of the smartest things I've seen in the last 2 series. Getting the fake on the reset is just completely genius from J-Wobs, and he knew that his play was going to work, and it did. And those are the type of plays that Saturnia need to keep working on. It's just those selfless plays. Of course, the prime potential of these players is undoubtedly extremely high, and a lot of the time it will work. However, they need to master the basics as well. PJ does get one touch, maybe a pass down to Dash, doesn't quite get it as an interception comes through on the Alpha Surge side. Rollback Noodles does get a 50 on the sidewall. Illusory Rahu is not an illusory this time. He tries to get to his Alpha Surge teammate, and a little bit of pressure coming onto the Alpha Surge side as they do get the clear. PJ has a little bit of time. He decides to not commit to anything in that play, and it doesn't lead to anything dangerous, which is really what Saturnia does need. PJ does try to get a pass to J-Robs, doesn't get what he wanted, however, and PJ again is on the ball, gets a 50, and the pressure is just really coming on for the Saturnia side.
Yeah, and for Alpha Surge, a player that, in all honesty, I've been a bit disappointed with this season is Rahu. He hasn't really been making a massive impact. Obviously got that winning goal in the last game, which was huge, but apart from that, he hasn't been making too much of an impact. And for a player, as you mentioned earlier, that has been in the master tier as recently as last season, I believe, you want to see a bit more of a step up here from him. Roll can't quite get the shot on net, and maybe that's the step up that I was just talking about. Rahu levels it up.
And, well, maybe his caliber doesn't come through his mechanics, but his positioning is certainly up there with what some of the best players in Elite, as he's just in the right position at the right time. And the shot, don't get me wrong, if it was a foil, then it wouldn't have gone in. And, well, that's the kind of caliber that you need. And, well, Dash does the exact same thing, but on his own. He doesn't need anyone. He gets the fake on Rahu, ironically, and he gets it past the last defender. And maybe the Rahu goal didn't really matter in the end.
Yes, Saturnia very quickly restoring their 1-goal advantage. Looking to make it more here. Dash has an opportunity, hits it forward, looks for the dunk. That one sails high of the net, and now J-Wubs, I thought he committed his third man there, but PJ got very quickly behind him. Now Dash hits it forward, gets blocked out a little bit though. J-Wubs can 50 that one off the sidewall. Who's there for it? Dash! So close to a beautiful redirect, but nothing doing as of now. Now Rahu to the backboard, looks for the double tap, but J-Wubs saves it out. J-Wubs looked at Rahu and said, I'm the only one who's allowed to score double taps in this lobby.
And unfortunately, it hasn't come through, and Rollback Noodles now, he does want to get one more goal. He tries to pass it into midfield, doesn't quite get what he wants, and Rahu unfortunately passes it to the opposition. It's not the best play, and PJ, you need to challenge, and he does it, and it's in. What a passing play from the Alpha Surge side. Rollback Noodles getting the pass to Raza, putting himself in the right position and taking advantage of PJ's unwillingness to go for the ball.
The 1-2 toodaloo coming through from the Alpha Surge. I definitely did not steal that quote from Dazarin. It was mine originally. Dash now taking it through, looking for that. We're tied up here with just over 30 seconds left. Roll to the backboard. Raza can't quite get the touch on that. J-Wubs now taking it forward. Dash can't get it to the side. That's a double commit there. Dash, a bit of a cut there, but maybe they'll get punished for it. Roll isn't there for it. Dash now, the counter attack maybe, takes it high, gets bumped for his efforts though. Raza can collect that one into the sidewall. Rahu hits it forward. J-Wubs doesn't connect with it, and now maybe this one will find its way in. Rahu finds the goal. J-Wubs can't connect. Dash in a very difficult position, decides to challenge, but couldn't get the touch on it. And now 4 seconds left for Saturnia to get back into this game. They get a decent kickoff. PJ has a chance to the ceiling, but Rahu cuts it out. This one should drop to the floor, and Alpha Surge head into Neo Tokyo on match point.
Alpha Surge has just completely taken over that last 30 seconds of the game, and Rahu stepping up for his team as you said he needed to, with 2 goals and 519 points. Honestly, it has been a great game from him, and unfortunately for Saturnia, their defense just crumbled at the last minute. And if you are Saturnia, I would be calling a timeout right now. However, from what I'm seeing, I don't think they will be. I think they're in consideration. What do you think they need to do to win the next 2 games?
We do have confirmation they will not be taking a timeout, and I think they probably don't need one. It's been quite a close series all in all. Both games, that game, they were in the lead until very late on and then just let up 2 goals at the end. So I don't hate the decision for not taking a timeout. Obviously, it is always nice to have a mental reset, but they've been playing really well this series, really well this day, and they'll be looking to take back this game in Neo Tokyo and send us to the coveted Champions Field. I think we all want to see it. We've all wanted to see it ever since we saw how back and forth this series was. It would be great to see that, but we have 5 minutes of Rocket League in between us and that Game 7. If Alpha Surge win, they are through to Saturday and they send out Saturnia. But if Saturnia manage to get back, manage to get this game, then we'll be going for one more 5 minutes of Rocket League. This is Saturnia's last chance. They cannot afford to lose another game.
And, well, it is just one of those things where Saturnia, their main goal from the start is Saturday, and if they do make it, well, it will be one of those runs. Getting a prime sweep and then getting a Game 7 win would be honestly one of the best things they could probably do and would have hoped for. And, well, they need to display it in this game. This game is all or nothing for them, and then Game 7 is their prime chance to make it. Now Dash does get the 50. Raza with an open shot doesn't quite get what he wants. PJ looking for a corner read, he does get it. Jobs, he misses. Dash, he doesn't quite get the shot. Now Jobs, he still has a little bit of time on the ball. No one's challenging, and he just does the same thing as he did last series. Ground pinch from the ceiling, and it just doesn't seem like any of the Alpha Surge defense wants to challenge him at all.
J-Wobs, you are ridiculous. So many great shots from him in this series, and that's what Saturnia need if they want to stay in this tournament. Raza into the corner. That's a nice touch from Roll. Rahu gets blocked out by PJ though. Can't find the net. Roll back into the middle. PJ there again. Looks for the sidewall, but Roll is just back and forth between PJ and Roll right now, but that one gets cleared right down the other end. A bit of an awkward touch from Rahu, but manages to block the shot from Dash. That's a mid pass to Dash, and that's a goal. Saturnia once again. The very, very quick mid-infield pass works wonders.
At least is the offensive caliber we have been wanting from them in the last game, which they unfortunately didn't produce. But now, 2 goals up, 3 minutes. They need to either keep on to the lead or keep adding to it. As Dash, he does get 1 touch, he needs to get the 50, he doesn't quite do so. Now Jobs in an awkward position, he does get the touch. Raza looking for a mid pass, he does get it. However, it wasn't good enough. Now rollback Noodles wants to get the pass to Rahu, doesn't quite get it to him, and oh, a little bit of downtime here as Rahu does get it past 1. Gets a flick, he's looking for a solo play, doesn't quite get it, it was very close however. Now rollback Noodles, he does get the touch, however, there is a Saturnia player in the way, and the pressure isn't letting up from Alpha Surge as Dash does get 1 touch. Jobs getting it past another, it's basically open if he can get the mid pass. It's not what he wants, and Rahu, he does get it out. Raza gets another touch here, now takes up the ceiling, tries to do a Jobs. It doesn't quite work out. Now, PJ gets one touch. Jobs wants to get this. It didn't quite work out. And again, it's this midfield presence from both of the teams that is preventing the goals.
Controlling his own corner, J-Wobs can put that one across the net. I'm being told by Twitch chat we're pronouncing his name wrong, but I'm being told about 15 different things to pronounce it as, so I'm going to keep doing it the way that I want to do it. And if he complains, then it's his fault for making such a confusing name. J-Wobs now in the corner. Roll gets that one out, manages to keep going with it. Dash, touch high, but Rahu's right there. Big touch high, J-Wobs can control this, looks for the second, but Roll cuts him out nicely. Dash now into the corner, gets the double. Just over 1 minute left here. Saturnia with a 2-goal lead. They need to hold on to this. They need to send us to game 7, but Raza, the pass to Roll. Alpha Surge, their passing plays are ridiculous.
Their infield awareness is unreal. Just having the ability to pass back when right in front of the net, it's not something that you see in Elite very often. And perhaps that's what gets this team the series, as Robot Noodles, he does look to try and get another pass, doesn't quite get it. Now Raza doesn't get the touch he wanted as he wasn't in the best position, and it's another open net. Can Dash do anything? Jobs! He's just missed a completely open net, and all the pressure is now gone. Rahu looking for a redirect, doesn't quite get it. It's on target, and Alpha Surge, they have just done the unreadable.
So close for Saturnia, but they've thrown away a lead again here. From 2-0 up with a minute left to now 2-2 with 30 seconds. And Alpha Surge will be looking to keep that pressure on and get this done in regulation. Raza can't get the shot on there, but double commit from the Saturnia defense. Rahu leaves it out. Roll has the shot, but Dash can save that one away. A double commit comes through the crossbar. Comes to Saturnia's rescue. 5 seconds left. That's an infield pass. Rahu doesn't get it. Peach can save that one out. Raza keeps it up on 0. This is into the middle. A double commit from Saturnia. Dash now coming down the other end for the 0 seconds, but Roll keeps that one out. And from a 0-second marathon, so many potential goals. I thought it would be over, but we do have overtime in game 6.
As you have said, Yannick has made an amazing signing, i.e. the crossbar, as they're there to save Saturnia again from going to a complete loss on game 6. Now, Dash does get one touch. Illusory Rahu, he's not an illusory anymore, and he's trying to prove that, and Rollback Noodles does get one touch. He's played it past one. Can Jobs get a touch? He cannot. There's one Saturnia defender in net. Can they get it past him? No, he can't. Now Raza does get the 50. Rahu gets one touch. PJ get going for one. He doesn't quite make its way out. And again, the pressure is coming onto the Saturnia side. All of the defenders are on one half of the pitch. It's not what you want to see. Now Jobs, he does get it past one. Raza, he's not in the right position. It's open, and Dash cannot capitalise. This series might be determined on this next player.
1 minute and 14 seconds. No goals just yet. Saturnia, they need this next goal to stay alive. This could be it. Dash gets beat out by the defender. Peach gets a touch to the backboard. Roll though, can't quite reach it. J-Wobs into the middle. Who's there? Dash fakes out one. Takes it off the wall. Looking for the mid pass. Roll though. Beats him out to it. Now PJ onto the side. Rahu sends it right back. Roll gets a touch. This is a chance, but Dash is so quick to it. Now Raza keeps that pressure on for Alpha Surge, but no one's up with him. J-Wobs should be able to get that one out, and does. This one's still awkward for the Saturnia defense though. PJ only as far as Raza. That one's sent right back. Rahu is there. This is the chance,
No
maybe.
way.
Can someone get the save? BJ off the inside of the goal. Keeps it out. Keeps Saturnia's season alive. Roll. Touch out to the side. Rahu into the middle. Raza can't quite get it. So close for Alpha Surge.
As he gets the shot, it's in! Alpha Surge! They've made it into Saturday, they've made it into playoffs. Bye bye, Saturnia, you've had a good run.
Saturnia are out. Alpha Surge will see you on Saturday for a chance to lift that trophy. But Saturnia, a great run for the end of the season and almost managed to get there in the end. But you just threw away that lead in that game 6, 2-0 up with a minute left, and then losing the overtime. That one's got to hurt so much. And yeah, it's got to be so tough for them to take, but they put up a great fight and were very worthy of being at this point. But Alpha Surge, a great performance from them. Looking at the post-series stats, such an evenly matched game, Wilkie.
And well, my prediction was correct, but in the other direction, unfortunately, it is a 4-2 in favour of Alpha Surge. And well, looking at these stats, as you said, Alpha Surge with 55 shots, Saturnia with 27 saves and 27 demos as well. It does show how each team preferred to play that series, and well, it came down to 2 goals to determine that series. That is completely unhinged for the elite here.
Yeah, such a close series all in all, but Alpha Surge do come out the victors, and a lot of that is down to this man right here. Roll back Noodles, the series MVP, a very deserved one. Only 3 goals, but on the defensive side, so strong. 12 saves, and really impressive as well. 8 assists. Really impressive there from him. A great performance and a fully deserved series MVP. A great performance from all 3 of those players on that Alpha Surge roster, and a great performance from all 6 players on the pitch as well. Shout out to Saturnia. But this is where their journey ends. Alpha Surge's is just beginning, and that does it for our lower bracket tonight, but we have one more series coming at you a bit later on after a short break. We'll be going to the upper bracket where we'll see Jarls take on Summit after a short break. Make sure you don't go anywhere.
You struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. We're the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
smoke, breathe me in and let me go. Filling the lungs inside you, and the blackened eyes make my way into your mind. Just to know what you knew. Restless every time we start locking eyes. Lost control. Oh, it's paradise with honesty, but
Do you struggle to rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments and trophies won and thousands of dollars earned, I will tailor to your needs and make sure you get to that next level. I'm also doing discounted prices for the first 10 days, so you do not want to miss out. And you are also probably thinking,
CMOS, how do I book a session with you?
well, that's easy. Just open up that fancy browser of yours, type metafy.gg/@cmasorl_, pick a session to your liking, book a time, and bang, you're booked, and I'll see you in the call. Once again, that's metafy.gg/@cmasorl_.
This isn't just merch, it's what teams wear when they mean business. Every stitch, every print, every detail, made to perform. Trusted by the grind, from grassroots to championship halls. Build your team store. Wear the brand that wins. SpartanWare, trusted by the grind.
I'm the storm that beats the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Welcome back, everyone, to the RSC, where we have our final series of the night in the elite play-ins, this time going to the upper bracket. I'm Char, alongside me is Veiled. Veiled, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I saw you just cast the Solaris versus Alpha Surge game. It was pretty hype. I was hoping for that game 7, but unfortunately we didn't get it in the end. But it was nice from Alpha Surge to make it way through. And yeah, now we'll determine who they'll face in their first series on Saturday.
Yeah, if we do take a quick look at the bracket that we have gone through tonight, those two games in the lower bracket have been played tonight. Saturnia sweeping Nguni out of the tournament and then getting beat out 4-2 by Alpha Surge. Alpha Surge advancing to Sunday. Like you say, they will be playing the loser of this series that we have right now, which is Jarls versus Summit, Team Berserkers versus Aspire Esports, the second seed coming from the Ignis Conference against the third seed coming from the Aspire Conference. Looking at these stats, is there anything that really stands out to you, Veiled?
The biggest one is definitely going to be the goal differential. If you look at the side of Carls, they are up 61 goals. And, well, you can say it's mainly due to the fact that they haven't conceded that many goals, but if you look at the amount of goals scored compared to Summit on the other side, that is also very, very big difference. So that is probably going to be the big one here. Carls have played with so much control. However, I heard a little bird singing called Cha that he had heard from someone that it might be Stingray subbing in for Karls, which might have an impact, but we are gonna have to wait and see for that. In the meantime, though, we do have player statistics on screen right now, and the main players on each team throughout the season has been Cluey, Genso, and Ellie Kitten on the side of Karls, Serenity, Rico, and Shadow on the side of Summit. And yeah, on Summit, pretty evenly spread. On Karls, it's definitely Cluey that has been that main man.
Yeah, 100%, and we do have confirmation from the players in the lobby that it will be Stingray who is playing with Cluey and Genzo for the side of Jarls. So our rival sub up there, we'll see how he does in this matchup. And just before we do get started in this series, we are a little bit late starting, we will get into some predictions. And for me, I think before this series, I was thinking of leaning more towards Jarls, but Stingray being the great player he is the rival, and unfortunately for me, that is going to make all the difference. So I am going to give it 4-1 in favor of Summit.
Yeah, and just to clarify, I went 4-2 to Summit here, and I was not the one to copy Cha. I gave my opinion first, and he copied me afterwards. He literally said, "I kind of want to go the side of Summit, but you already went it. I'm just gonna go a score different than yours." Just to clarify that. So if Summit goes to win here, I want all the credit here, but you know, we might have cursed them a little bit here, but it's gonna be interesting to see how this match can pan out. It does look like we have all the players, and I think we are a little bit delayed here today, Cha, so what do you say we just jump straight into this matchup?
We shall do just that. We have all the players in the lobby, and we will tell them to get underway for the first match in this series. Hopefully it's a long one. We got robbed of a game 7 in that last series. I'm hoping for a game 7 in here, although that wasn't my prediction. If we can't get my prediction, we go to game 7. We don't get your prediction. That would be the ideal scenario. But we do get underway in this game 1, and we'll see how this rival sub-up affects Jarls, if it affects them. Maybe they'll still be able to pull out the win. That rival sub-up Stingray looking at the ball now, can't get that touch. Cluey to the backboard, looking for the double, can't quite get the angle, and now Summit maybe could get away here, but Stingray cuts it off really nicely. Looks for the ground pinch, doesn't quite get the touch. That's a dunk. That one's flying dangerously close, but not quite. Cluey gets beat out by Rico. Serenity's up for it. Can't quite get it. Shadow now has the shot, but saved away by Genzo. More Summit pressure though. Cluey to the backboard. Demo on to Genzo. Rico now, no boost, gets a flick really high. Stingray beats that one out, but Cluey beat out by Serenity. Now Serenity, infield pass, Rico cut out by Cluey. Now this one coming right down the other end for the side of Charles, but the bump from Genzo just doesn't connect, and a minute in, neither team to break the deadlock quite yet.
No, they're really just testing each other's defense here. And I just want to note, I have cast Stingray a couple times throughout this season, and it's gonna be interesting to see how this sub up pans out, because of course we saw Onesie stopping up for our franchise in the Charlie tier. And if anyone knows him, he's a very mechanical player. Stingray, pretty much the opposite. It's not that mechanical to my knowledge, but he has a lot of game knowledge on how to set his teammates up. As I say that, Genso will find the first one, and it will be for Jarls here. They take the lead pretty early on in this series, but I just wanted to notice or mention that it's gonna be interesting to see how that game sends over mechanical sub up, because I do think it is the two most mechanical players from the team of Jarls that has to play with him here. So maybe he can just fill in and really start setting his teammates up. He is going to be looking for that bump. It's going to be Cluey setting up Genso here, taking it to the backboard. Stingray going to cause some disruption with a pre-jump here, but Serenity not biting. He's going to take it across his own net here. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this. Cluey's going to try and pass it backwards, but it will be Rico to cut it out. And could be an open net here. It is going to be passed infield, but saved away by Rico in the end. And Jarls looking like they got away with one for free here.
Cluey taking it forward, beat out by Shadow though. Genzo into the sidewall. Stingray's up, beats really nicely. Now Genzo can't get the 50 on the Serenity. Gets a 50 there from Stingray though. That one's dangerous. Cluey has the shot. That one almost finds the top corner, but the crossbar and the post keeps it out. Stingray doesn't get the connection on that one, but Shadow, a weak shot, and Cluey can collect this one. Serenity though stops him from taking it out. Genzo now looking to take it forward, but Reiko is right there. Beat out by Shadow. Genzo taking it forward. Serenity is there for the 50. That one's awkward on the backboard, but Serenity does really nicely. Cluey's there to make it difficult. Stingray can't quite get that one. A nice back pass to Genzo. Over 1, over 2, into the middle to Cluey. Rico blocks it out, and something I want to say about this game. The last series that I casted, it was a bit slow at times, it was a bit lethargic, but this series, the speed has just ramped up so much. The speed of this game feels so much faster, and this is what the really top end of Elite looks like. And fair play to Stingray, he does not look out of place as a low CMV rival player. He's keeping up to the pace so well, and even making a few plays of his own with that flip reset.
Yeah, but as you see, that flip reset not really meant to do much other than set up the teammate waiting behind him. But this time it is gonna be Stingray just sitting in that net. Cluey gonna have to buy him some time here. Not able to get on the end of that one, but will be kept out for now. Serenity here is gonna try and force it into the middle. It will be Shadow to follow up, but Stingray cutting that one out. Genzo to follow up. Not a lot of boost to work with, but does get a really good flick here. Rico on the backboard getting tested. Will end up passing it straight to Cluey, but he returns the favor by passing it straight back. Genzo here gonna try and make something happen down the end. Not able to do so, but here's Stingray gonna be looking for that bump, but Serenity just dodging it and able to deal with that pressure. Stingray getting a bit ahead of himself here. Genzo whiffing, but Cluey, the man of the hour, able to get there just in time to get that ball cleared away from the goal. Now Stingray is gonna be looking to cut out Rico. Will be able to do so. Not able to get much here, but Cluey backing him up. Now Serenity on the back end, but it will be Genzo who just finds the gap and is able to find a second one for Jarls here.
Genzo and Cluey combining. Serenity cannot get the touch on the backboard. Genzo's there to punish him for just that and puts Jarls 2 goals up with 18 seconds left. A bit of a kickoff strat there from Summit, and it worked so well all the way up until the finish, and you really thought that that one should have been put in. Such a good kickoff, but Rico could not find the back of the net on that occasion, and it will cost them in this game because they will lose this game 1 and go 1-0 down in the series.
Yeah, Jarls, they find that first game, but towards the end there, Summit, it looked like they got a bit more alive, but they need to be a bit more composed in that back line. That has been their weakness in this game so far. Jarls, they looked a bit scrappy in defense, but they were just that bit more clinical than Summit, and that's gonna get them this game win. Second game could be a different story though. Only time will tell.
Yeah. Jarls, great performance. Summit will be looking to bounce back as quick as possible, and I think they definitely can. You saw some good signs from them in that first game, a few flashes here and there, but they just weren't quite clinical enough to take advantage of those moments that they had, and the Jarls defense held up very well. A 2-0 scoreline is always a nice one to have to shut out your opponent, especially in a game 1, to kind of set the tone for the series and hope that you can keep letting in as little goals as possible. But Summit, they will come right back at this. 3 very talented players on the field for them, and they will not take that sitting down. And we do get underway for game 2. Stingray right off the kickoff into the backboard. Rico's there though, keeps it out. That one goes into the corner. Genzo gets 50'd, and that one's sent right back down to the Jarls half. Rico now on the backboard looking for the mid pass, but Cluey's already up. But Serenity does what they could not do in game 1. Gets Summit's first goal of the series so quickly into game 2. A brilliant response.
Yeah, and it's very, very fast here. Again, we see the defense being a bit disorganized on the side of Jarls, and this time, Summit not letting that chance slip by. Shadow is going to be pressured off of this ball, but able to have Serenity back him up. Rico will be pushing forward on this one. Chloe should have the beat though. Will aim to take it high towards the corner here. Tries to lock at the backboard. Stingray to follow it up, but Serenity able to carry it forward. Is going to leave this one and be looking for the bump, but that's not one you want to see if you're a Summit supporter. Both players just not able to keep control of that ball. Stingray gonna try and catch this one out. Chloe to follow up. That's a nice beat as well. Genso should be able to get on the end of this one. Puts it towards the corner, but Serenity is gonna be able to cope with this one. And we'll find a 50 in the end. Just stalling this play in the midfield. But here Genso with a flip reset over one. But Shadow able to clear that one out a little bit. And even able to get it up to Rico. He's gonna try his luck on Genso, but he is able to deal with this one.
Rico now on the ceiling, looking for the ceiling shot! And he finds it! Summit, after losing 2-0 in that game 1, respond with 2 goals of their own. And an absolutely brilliant one at that. Rico off the ceiling, down from the heavens. What a shot, what a goal. 2-0 Summit.
Yeah, but it's a good kickoff from Jarls here. Stingray to keep the pressure on. Not able to deal with it. Rico here trying to beat out Genso. But a nice cutout. Shadow to carry it forward here, but Stingray to the side. Gonna try and find Chloe here, but a nice beat by Rico. But the ball still in danger. Shadow gets a bit of time to work with here, but just kind of gives it away to Stingray. Serenity to follow up. But once again, the shot is just not strong enough. Chloe gonna try and get on the end of this. That's a nice beat, and Stingray just positioned beautifully to just tap that one in. And Jarls are straight back into this game.
Yeah, what a touch from Chloe. The defense just not expecting it at all. And Stingray exactly where he needed to be to finish that one off. And Jarls get one back in here. They're now just within one of Summit. Stingray looking to level it up, but Rico off the ceiling manages to challenge that one. Genzo now trying to take it out, but that's only as far as Serenity. Out of absolutely nowhere, Summit restore their 2-goal lead.
Indeed they do. It's a nice little dunk by Serenity. No one in the goal waiting for that one. And this game is slowly slipping a bit away. If you're on the side of Jarls, Shadow gonna be looking to make the gap even bigger. Not able to do so on this occasion. Genso gonna be taking this one forward. Tries to relay it to Stingray, but it's cut out by Rico. Shadow on the back end here is just gonna force this one forward. Chloe, not the best of 50s, and Genso, not the best of touches. Stingray,
Oh no!
might be own goaling, but he will get the save in the end, but it will lead to a goal on the side of Summit. It's a nice tap in by Shadow in the end, and could have very well been avoided. Stingray didn't happen to be in the wrong position at the wrong time.
Right position at the right time for the Jarls goal, and then in the wrong one at the wrong time for that Summit goal. A bit unfortunate, but it happens. But Summit with a 3-goal advantage here. 2 minutes left for Jarls to mount a comeback, and they'll be looking to do just that here. Chloe off to the side to Genzo, to the ceiling, gets another touch off the backboard. Chloe's there, but Rico just falls down on that one and keeps it out. The ceiling pitch from Stingray, and Shadow keeps it out, and now the counter-attack. Serenity's got it, just one defender to beat, and he does so brilliantly. The flick over the last defender puts Summit 5-1 up.
They're absolutely running away with this one. Jarls looking like they had more control in the first game, but Summit all of a sudden found their pace. Chloe gonna be looking to change things up a little bit here, not able to do so. Shadow taken to the skies, will get cut out by Genso. Stingray to follow up here, but Rico will be setting up Serenity here, and nothing Genso can do on the goal line. It will be a 4th goal for Serenity in this game.
Veld, I have a question for you. Do you feel like going on a holiday to Brazil?
I don't know. We might get one though.
Fair enough, and Summit will be looking to make that happen, but Jarls won't want that. They still have some time to get back into this game, but they really need to get something going quickly. Cluey takes it forward. Genzo looking for the beat, but Shadow's right there. A few demos coming out, and this one might just be open, but Serenity doesn't quite have the boost to put that one away. This one bounces high. Cluey right there over the defender. 1 minute left for Jarls. Not much time for 5 goals. Stingray looks to put it just across the net, but can't really get anything from that. Now he's up again, gets one, but Rico there to clear it out. Summit continue their domination of this game too. They've been so much more potent, so much more fast, and just so much more clinical in this game too than they were in game 1. They've really taken advantage of the holes that Jarls have left in their rotations, in their defense, and Shadow sends us to Brazil.
Indeed he does. And I think this game, it just goes to show that when you do sub up a rival player into the lead tier, I will say I don't think he's looked out of place. He has made a couple mistakes, but so has everyone else on the field. Just kind of feels like the organization hasn't really been there for the side of Jarls, but maybe here's Stingray to get one back just as I start talking a bit. And I just want to stress, I don't feel like he is out of place in this tier. It just goes to show that a team that has played together pretty much all season long is going to have a better chance than a team that has just made a sub up before this series.
Is it? I think it feels like Summit, they really know how each other play a little bit better, but Stingray completes his hat-trick here, and yeah, I was about to say it's doable, but then I looked at the clock properly and it's not really doable. But some nice momentum for Jarls to take into this next game. They got a few back. Stingray with 3 in this game. A hat-trick from Stingray, doing very, very well in this game too, although on the defensive side, maybe not so well. But yeah, that's all it is for me. It's just Summit, they look more like a team because they are a team. This Jarls squad, you've got 2 of the team that have been playing all season, but then you've got that sub up in Stingray who won't have played with these 2 players, and they won't have that familiarity that a team that has played the season together will have, and that is such a huge factor, especially in the elite tier.
But keep in mind here, Cha, we only need the momentum to swing Jarl's way one more time, and your prediction is in the bins. However, my prediction will be perfectly set up if Stingray can lock in for this next game and somehow find one back for them. But not to be the big talking point here, it was a really good game by Summit. Serenity able to find 4 goals in that game. Very impressive from him alone, but also Rico with 3 assists and Shadow with 2 goals and 2 assists to his name. So everyone really getting involved in the offensive play on the side of Summit. Only 1 save needed from him though, and that might go to show that we might need a little bit more from Jarls in the offensive third to get those attacking plays built up, as well as just get a bit more organized in defense and not let Summit just run away with it in the first moments of the game.
Yeah, 100%, and that is something they cannot afford to do. They cannot afford another massive scoreline like that. 7-3 is never very flattering, but they managed to get those 3 goals. They managed to score the goals and get a little bit of momentum going into this game, so maybe they can carry that through Serenity looking for the air dribble, met by Stingray though. That one's to the backboard. Shadow can't quite get it. Genzo gets the clear. Cluey now on the sidewall. Rico, it's the pre-jump. Doesn't quite work out for him, but I respect the confidence. This one's just bobbling about in the corner. A lovely fake from Serenity. And now the infield pass. Stingray cuts it out nicely. Cluey off the ceiling. Doesn't really get the touch he was looking for, but can follow it up just to make it a little bit more difficult for Rico. Serenity now pops that one up. Stingray right there to meet it. Shadow, big high touch. A double commit coming out from Summit. Serenity's there and doesn't quite find that pop onto the net. The right idea though. Genzo, a big clear. Maybe could have taken control there, but it might work out. Genzo almost got the shot off the backboard, but it's cut out by Shadow brilliantly.
Yeah, but now here again, so with another chance, gonna relay it down to Cluey, but not able to find the framework. Cluey's gonna try and force this one again. Does get the better in on Rico. Stingray trying to tap it down to Genzo, but not to be yet. Cluey off the corner here with a nice shot, forces two defenders on the side of Summit. Now Stingray being set up with a nice opportunity, and he will make good of it. A beautifully placed shot. And look at the pressure that Jarls has all of a sudden been able to put onto Summit. They're really stretching that defense and capitalizing on those double commits.
Yeah, Jarls managed to get the first goal in this game, and they'll be looking to hold that lead just like they did in game one. Stingray can't quite add to it there. That one's off the corner, but Cluey's following it up and just wide of the net. Shadow pinch forward. Genzo though can keep that pressure on. A double commit from Summit. Serenity, not a great touch as well, but Genzo doesn't find the contact on that ball. Stingray in his own corner, taking that one out, only as far as Rico. Genzo now, big touch forward. Who's first to that race? It is Serenity. A high touch, but a backflip. Cluey now can hit that one to the side. Stingray made a bit awkward by Serenity, but Genzo manages to back him up, demoed for his efforts. Cluey off to the sidewall, looks to follow it up for the musty. Can't quite find it. Genzo pops that one. Stingray's up. Rico doesn't connect, but Stingray doesn't really do much with that touch. And now Summit can come right back at them. Cluey blocks it out. Now off the sidewall, who's there first to that ball? It's a 50. This one's just bobbling about in the midfield. It's such a midfield battle right now. It feels like that's where the game is being won and lost. Lost in the case of Summit so far. But there's so many 50s in that midfield, and neither team can really hold extended amounts of pressure, and it's just a bit end-to-end failed.
It is a little bit end-to-end right now. Both teams just trying to test each other out, trying to find that one opportunity to get them a goal on the end of Summit. Want to be getting back into this game on the side of Jarls. You just want to try and see if you can find another goal to just strengthen your chances of taking this game. This could be the chance, and Cluey has found the better side to put that ball in. Puts it far, and Serenity on the goal line, not able to get to it. It's a bit of a misplay by him, but it's well played by Cluey to find the 2-goal lead for the side of Jarls. And all of a sudden, the momentum that we saw so heavily in Summit's favor has switched a bit to Jarls. They have found some organization in defense. They have been able to cut out Summit in the right moments. And it has been very profitable for them, but here Shadow will get one back for Summit.
You saw the difference there in the rival and elite speed. Shadow so much quicker to that ball than Stingray, and manages to slot that one in off the crossbar and get one back for this Summit team. 1 minute 30 on the clock here. Shadow, another touch forward, right into the hands of Cluey though. Gets a nice controlled first touch, but Shadow cuts that one out. Serenity off the sidewall. Rico's up. Rico sends it forward. Genzo can only send it right back into the hands of Summit, but Cluey blocks out the dribble there. Now Stingray coming forward. Can't get the shot onto the net though. That one's cut out. Serenity looking to take this one forward. Genzo Tries to get it past, gets a demo on Shadow. Rico now. This one's a bit open here for the side of Jarls, but Cluey manages to deal with it. Shadow looking to keep that pressure on, gets the demo, and another demo coming out. Summit employing the physical game. Maybe it'll work out with the shot. Shadow just can't get it past Stingray. Now Cluey coming right down the other end, looking for the air dribble. Not got enough boost though. Rico can't get the touch. Shadow comes in out of nowhere. Stingray keeps that pressure on. That's a high floating ball for Serenity. Cluey a bit awkward there, misses it, but that makes Rico miss it as well. Stingray can boom this one out, but only as far as Serenity. Rico now's up. Cluey manages to win that race. Serenity beat out by Genzo. It feels like just at the moment Jarls are beating them to every ball. 10 seconds left for Jarls to hold on to this lead. Shadow has to get this ball up the pitch. Goes for the air dribble to the ceiling. Looks for the touch, but cannot get that one on net. One last chance for Summit, but that one will just hit the ground, and Jarls take game 3, and in the process give me another wrong prediction.
Indeed. I mean, my prediction is set up a little bit here, but I do want to touch on the fact that we just went from a game where Summit was absolutely dominating Jarls. And while I did mention in this game, and I do still hold on to the fact that the organization looked better from Jarls, but the play from Summit just looked poor. They weren't able to beat their men. They weren't able to set each other up very well, and it was just very lacking gameplay, really. It's just not a lot to convince me that you know, they deserve to be here in the upper bracket. Now, in that second game, they did show that, and I do want to see them be able to do that again. And I know that they can, but it is the playoffs, and you're playing against a team that is utilizing a rival suburb. If you can't get through here, it's only gonna get tougher down in that lower bracket, where teams already have to fight to keep their life.
Yeah, 100%. And they really, this is an opportunity that Summit can't let up here if they want to be one of those teams to beat in this elite tier. They cannot let up the opportunity of a rival sub-up. In all fairness, the rival sub-up has been playing very, very well. I've been very impressed with Stingray this season, keeping up to the level very, very nicely, and hopefully he can keep doing that if you are a TBK fan. But Rico taking it forward. Serenity gets that to the backboard. Can someone from Jaws get it? No, they can't. That's the shot. But Stingray can keep that one out just barely. Now Rico can't quite get it forward. Cluey has the ball here, but Serenity keeping the pressure on. A nice bump from Cluey though, just relieves so much of that pressure. This ball's in the midfield. Stingray gets a nice 50. Serenity can get this over, but Stingray hits it out to the side, but Rico's right there. That one's a mid pass. That's a shot for Shadow, but just wide. Genzo looking to take this one forward, gets that onto the net, but Rico's there. Cluey has another opportunity, but no player, neither team really got their shooting boots on in this game.
Yeah, Shadow gonna try and keep the pressure for Summit here. Cluey gonna draw us out some time, try and make Serenity overcommit. Won't happen, and Rico is gifted a little bit of a freebie here. Shadow diving in, not able to find the target. Genzo to his own backboard will set up Cluey here in the transition. He's gonna take it to the corner. Gonna try and fake out Rico. Maybe try and make him pass it back to the side of Jarls. Won't happen yet. And a bit of a double commit here makes the defense on the Jarls side very awkward. But it's very poorly handled by Shadow. Just kind of gifting the possession straight back. And now the pressure all on the side of Summit again. Just as they started to look like they could build up something, Serenity is gonna have to do something in the corner here. He's gonna try and set up Shadow, but it is gonna end up being Cluey set up. Stingray to follow up. We have seen how that can turn out, but this time not able to get the beat and the shot. Serenity is gonna try and get the beat here. Does force it through, but Cluey patiently on the backboard will be able to control that one a little bit. Genzo to help him out. And that pinch is gonna be very difficult for Summit to deal with. Shadow is gonna be there though, but Stingray to keep that pressure on. And now this play is just starting to slow down a little bit, but Summit still having a very tough time keeping possession.
Rico now putting that one forward. Shadow can control it here. Looks for the shot as well. Genzo has to save that one out and does. Serenity looking for the bump but doesn't quite find it. Rico now off the ceiling. We know he loves this. The pass into the middle. Shadow to the backboard. Cannot follow it up though. Genzo diving in at the last moment keeps it out. Serenity now, no boost, but that doesn't matter. The flick onto the net, so close, but Genzo can keep it out. Rico, this pressure's still not done for Summit, goes low. The double 50 coming through, doesn't find the net. Stingray gets this to Cluey, and Jarls finally get the ball out, but not for very long. Shadow puts it back, a big clear from Genzo, exactly what Jarls needed. Rico doesn't connect with that one. Shadow beats out Stingray though. Genzo should be able to collect this one, takes control nicely, takes it off the sidewall, gets it past 2. Can he follow this one up, gets the 50, that one's dangerous. Serenity has to be there and does. Stingray to the backboard, no one's there to follow it, and Shadow gets a double 50. This is dangerous, only one defender back for Jarls, but that defender does very, very well. Stingray's back now, doesn't get the touch though. Genzo doesn't get the touch. Cluey has to be the third man go for it for Jarls, but manages to get it out. Now, Cluey, the flick, Shadow up there to meet it though. Serenity now trying to get the touch, but not a lot of boost to do much with that. Rico dives in for that, hits it to the sidewall, goes off the ceiling once again, looking for that ceiling shot, but doesn't find it. Cluey taking it off the sidewall, but doesn't get the touch, and with 45 seconds left, we're still locked in a stalemate. Neither team able to break through the defense, but that does not mean this game has not been some high-octane end-to-end action.
Nope, it doesn't mean that. Cluey here, gonna look to change things up here. Nice little fake, but not to be yet. Stingray's gonna look to set up Genzo here. Nice 50 by Rico. Shadow needing to get a beat there. Can't do so. Serenity tracking back here in the corner. It's gonna get a bad touch here. That sets up Cluey, but Serenity just gets there in time. This one should fall to Shadow. It's gonna take it to the side, but I doubt he's gonna be able to find a teammate here. Indeed, won't be able to. Cluey gonna try and take it forward. This should fall to Serenity. Does get a beat. Needs to find Rico in the middle here. Not able to do so. And we will have overtime here. Now, both teams needing to clutch up now. Neither is able to find a gap in this game. Will have to be settled in just a single goal. This pass from Genzo could be just that. But Stingray not able to find the goal. Will indeed find the backboard. Shadow getting tested here on the back end. Will take it to the side. Fails to do anything with it. That pass from Genzo could be huge. Stingray way too slow up for this one. And now Genzo have to buy some time for his teammates to get back into position. Does so brilliantly. Now Shadow with a huge 50 sets up Rico. Just forcing that one to the backboard, but that bump will give a lot of space if you're on the side of Jarls, but Summit just unable to convert any chance out of this, just as I think that Rico almost able to squeeze that one past.
Rico looking for another shot. The bump doesn't come through on Stingray. Serenity now off the sidewall. Cluey has an opening here, but Rico can race back and get another 50 as well. Shadow gets it past Stingray, but can get back to it nicely. Rico now air dribble into the middle. Cluey cuts him off. That's a shot onto net from Genzo, but Shadow should be able to save that one away. But that's another shot just wide. Rico now, that one pops high. Shadow off the sidewall looking for the double, doesn't quite find it. Now Cluey leaves it out for Genzo. That's a 50 and that one almost finds its way in. The post saves Summit and manages to keep this game at 0-0. And this game, for me, I don't know about you, Veiled, but it has not in the slightest felt like a 0-0 game as Stingray somehow keeps that one out. But yeah, there's been so many opportunities, and the fact that it's still 0-0 is just unbelievable.
In regulation, I would say that there wasn't that many chances. However, here in overtime, It has definitely kicked up a notch here. Both teams having one really good chance to find a goal. Neither team able to capitalize on it though. So far, Rico gonna carry this one forward. Shadow on the pre-jump has just sent everything he had. Rico able to track back in time. That shot is on target, but Serenity with a big save. Cluey to the sidewall here is gonna set up Genso, but another nice save by Rico, who is absolutely coming clutch here in this overtime. 4 saves to him so far. Genso on the other end, also 4 saves. A lot of saves for both teams in this overtime.
Now maybe this is the chance to end it. Shadow ends the overtime just shy of 3 minutes. Serenity looks for the back post, doesn't quite find the net, but Shadow able to follow it in off the post. And Summit, that is such a crucial goal for them to tie up the series, because if you go 3-1 down, you go down a triple match point for the opponents, and that is some ropey waters. But now the series is tied up once again. It's a best of 3 to see who will take it, and that overtime was just unbelievable, Veld. 9 saves on the side of Summit, 10 saves on the side of Charles. Not all of those being in the overtime, in fairness, but it felt like the vast majority of them would have been. And just an insane game, even if it was only 1-0.
It was indeed, especially that overtime. Things started to heat up, both teams getting tested. Summit held strong twice in a row and was able to find one on the counter. It's very great play by them, but I'm still not convinced yet, Ja. I don't feel like the gameplay from them has been strong enough to cement themselves as the better team in this series. I think it's just, from what I've seen, the first touches have just been a bit lacking, and there has been some whiffs in crucial moments. They have been the better team at following up their teammates and being in the right spot, but it's just those whiffs and those poor first touches that just ends up leading to nothing most of the time. In that overtime, it did look better, but I still want more from them in this series, and we do get a chance to see just that.
We're back.
back?
We're back. We are back.
So back. You might have missed it out, but I did just post to Char that my prediction does look like it's coming true. Very nice start from Summit, on almost able to make it 2 here. Not quite though. Rico is gonna turn up the heat here. Genso with a clear. Shadow on the follow-up. Gets dunked by Genso. And now Charles is gonna get some pressure, but it's Rico with a very crucial cutout here. Is gonna try and get the 50. It sets up Serenity. Stingray just able to not get bumped here. Shadow gonna keep the pressure on. Genso can't do anything, and it will be a 2-goal lead for Jarls.
The ball was made of lead. Genzo couldn't do enough to keep it out. Shadow manages to find the goal and put Summit 2-0 up in just over a minute. Now off the kickoff, who can get this next goal? This next goal is so important. 3-0 is such a hard scoreline to come back to, but if Jarls can get this next goal and put it within 1, then they'll have plenty of time to get back into it. But it looks like it will be Serenity to put Summit 3-0 up with a beautiful double tap.
And it looks like me begging for Summit to wake up has finally led to something. They're enjoying a lot of pressure in this game 5. And this Jarls team, well, they aren't out if they lose this game. But it's gonna be harder to get back into it. Getting your mental back after a game this late on in the series could mean everything. This Jarl's team is going to try and build up some pressure here, but it's a bit poor. Genso here, however, is going to have a bit of a better chance. Not able to fight the follow-up though, and it's going to be Stingray to keep the pressure on. Gonna center it for Cluey, but what a nice cut out by Serenity. Rico in transition here is going to try and set up Serenity, who was trying to set up Shadow, but it just goes a bit too high. Genso with a nice save. Cluey gets the beat onto 1. Rico, however, gets speed 2 on that play, which sets up Shadow on the counter attack here. It's gonna be able to center it for Serenity, but a nice save by Genso for Jarls to stay alive here. Cha.
Yeah, they have just over half the game left, and they've got to be thinking, if Summit can score 3 goals in half a game, so can we, and that will start them off on their way. The third man from Summit caught high up the pitch. Cluey spots it, takes full advantage of it, and gets 1 back for Jarls.
Indeed they does. 2 minute 32 on the clock here. Plenty of time for Jarls to get back into it. However, Shadow on that kickoff, it's gonna make it hard for them. Cluey gets a nice bang here. Genso on the follow-up, gets to beat Shadow. Can he put this one on target? He can! What an absolute read by Genso to take that one. That's a nice read on the pass, and just a beautiful touch and a beautiful follow-up touch from the backboard. Beautiful stuff from Genso here.
Such a nice double tap. As soon as he went up for it, you just knew that it was going into the back of the net, and Jarls, they have so much time here. They've managed to get 2 really quick goals, and they have so much time to get back into this. Cluey looking to take it forward, but Shadow can keep the pressure on. Stingray to the corner. Shadow puts that one into the middle. Genzo now hits it forward. Gets to it again. That one's dropping down, but Rico gets the necessary touch needed. This one's pinched all the way back down, but Genzo should be able to collect. A heavy touch to Rico. Rico can't get the double. Cluey misses it out, but Stingray follows it up. A nice air dribble. A flip reset to the sidewall. Cluey, Musty, Genzo, shot. Free player passing play from Jarls to tie it up.
Where has this come from? Stingray getting an absolutely beautiful pop reset over his defender to Genso, who goes for the musty off the side, and a beautiful finish from Cluey. Every single person on that Jarl side getting involved in that goal, and well, neither of those plays by those players looked like it didn't belong here. It looked like it could have maybe have happened in Master Tier. Of course, they haven't consistently been playing to that level, but that was a beautiful goal made possible by every single player on that team. Shadow gonna be looking to cut out Genso here, not able to get the beat. Stingray to keep the pressure on for Jarl. Serenity is gonna cut this one out. Nice 50 by him. Stingray forcing this one to the backboard. It's gonna be dropped down by Genso. However, Serenity is gonna set up Shadow here. A big 50-50 here. Gets the fake as well. Rico with the follow-up touch, but Stingray once again just booming it straight back in the other end of the field. Genso to keep it alive. Stingray to the corner. Genso's gonna get the bump onto Rico. That sets up Stingray with a beautiful shot to get the lead late on in this game.
Genzo clears the road, and Stingray can slot it into the top of the net. Jarls from 3-0 down to 4-0 up. Maybe 4-0? 4-3 up, excuse me, and maybe 5 there, but Shadow can save that one. Genzo to the backboard. Who can follow it? It is Shadow. Cluey now, though, looking for the double. Fakes it out, but no one's there except Shadow. Taking it forward. Gets a double. Stingray's a bit awkward here. Beats out Rico though, and a great spawn from Cluey can relieve some pressure, but Serenity gets the touch, the pass back to it. Rico, the pass from Serenity back to Serenity. Summit tie it up with 12 seconds left.
And I was gonna say, the mastermind Cluey choosing to spawn in just the right position, but it bites them just a second later as Rico gets that vital touch to set up Serenity with that finish. And all of a sudden, this game has been flipped on its head for the second time. It is going to be Chloe to try and do it once again. Serenity on the back bot, not able to get a touch. And that means, for the second time in this series, we do have another overtime. Regulation, not enough to take these teams apart. We are going to need this golden goal to do so.
Get the shot. Stingray beats out Shadow really nicely. Rico has to get the touch here. Really nice control, but gets demoed for his efforts. Stingray up high. Serenity can send that one right back to the Jarl's defense. Cluey a bit awkward here. Maybe shouldn't have cut that one. Genzo maybe should have called them off that one, but not punished as of now. Stingray leaves it out for Genzo. Touch to the sidewall. This is a mid-pass opportunity. Cluey's up for the pre-jump. Doesn't quite connect on that one though. Stingray now keeping that pressure on. Genzo a really nice beat to just make sure no Summit player can get a clean touch. Serenity a big boom. A double commit coming through from Stingray and Genzo. If Summit get a quick counter attack here, could be a bit open, but Stingray slows it down enough to give his teammates time to come back. Genzo now into the middle. Rico can collect though. A high touch. Shadow's there looking for the backboard. Stingray defends it nicely. Serenity blocks out Genzo. Shadow to the backboard. Cluey looking for the dribble forward, but Rico is right there to 50 it. These teams locked in a deadlock, locked in this overtime. Last game, it was 0-0. This game, it's 4-4, but no matter the scoreline, it is so close here, Build.
Yeah, Stingray gonna try and get the pressure back, but that's a big demo by Rico in the back line. Chloe is gonna try and buy as much time as possible, however, it doesn't look like he can do too much. But a bit of miscommunication perhaps from the Sonnet roster. A missed touch by Serenity.
Oh,
And that's an easy chance for Stingray. Just needs to put it over Rico and does so. And this game 5 has flipped its head. For the third time, Stingray has absolutely come alive. We questioned whether he could find his place in this series. But he's absolutely made a statement that he indeed belongs here.
And no real surprise here. We see Summit call a timeout. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, yeah, okay, they're just questioning if the timeout is a thing. Yes, the timeout is a thing. We do see Summit calling a timeout here, which going down to match point, you're not really surprised here to see that call coming through. But you look at the game stats for this game, and it's just ridiculous. Genzo 800 points, Stingray 640, Cluey 450. All 3 players on Jarls making so many saves, so many goals. Genzo 5 saves individually, a masterful performance on the defense from him, and 2 goals. So a really good all-round performance from Genzo, and yeah, just a great game overall for Jarls, but it is just so close here, Build.
Yeah, indeed it is. And 2 minutes left on this timeout right here. I'm gonna try and set a timer here and just kind of keep track on it. I don't know if Jeb says, can you let me know if you are also Okay, there is one on the screen. I'm gonna cancel this one so there's no awkward noises coming through all of a sudden, but yeah, they do have a little bit of time to talk here. It is Jarls calling that timeout. I do believe Chloe needed to figure something out behind the scenes, so it's not really a tactical timeout, and it's not really a BM timeout. It's really just to try and get himself situated, which is fair enough. You know, they do have that timeout in the back end, and they can call it if they so decide to do so.
I believe it was Summit rather than Jarls that did call the timeout. But I think
it was Chloe.
No, Chloe was just questioning if it was a thing. It was Summit that said it first. But Chloe had a few things going on behind the scenes that could make use of that timeout. So yeah, we'll see what Summit can talk about in this timeout to kind of reset and get back into this series. But They need to get back into it because they only have one life left in this series. They want to send us to Champions Field. I want them to send us to Champions Field. I want to see a Champions Field here, Veiled. I don't know about you. Champions Field, always great. And this series, like the last one, has been so back and forth that it definitely deserves one.
Yeah, I don't know if it will though, because Jarl's able to get really well into that one. And there is only 10 seconds left on the timeout. I'm just gonna let the players know so they have an idea that there's 10 seconds left of that timeout. But yeah, this series deserving of a game 7. But however, I don't know if I believe in Summit's ability to come back into this series. It looks like it's just slipped away from the palm of their hand. And they have to work so hard in this game, Char, to try and make it happen.
Yeah, and Rico looking to do just that, gets that ball forward, but Genzo can block that one out. Shadow to the backboard, who's there to follow it? It is Serenity, and it is a lightning fast start for Summit. Off the timeout, immediately getting that goal. Rico gets the 50, Serenity manages to slot that one away. Summit, immediate response, and they're looking to take us to Champions Field, take us to a game 7, and that is just the way to start it off.
Yeah, Rico with a big clear here as well. Shadow's gonna get on the end of this one. Gonna pass it off the sidewall to himself, but not on target, and Chloe will be able to deal with that one pretty comfortably. Even dribble is it past one. Shadow gonna have to cut infield to deal with that one. Takes a shot on target, but nice saved away by Genso. Serenity here on the follow-up. Will get challenged by Stingray. And Chloe gets a little bit of time on the backboard here, not able to convert much of it. Stingray gonna pass it straight to Serenity here, but Chloe not gonna leave him much space to work with. And it looks like that has just been a very big part of this series. You know, this Jarl side, at least Chloe and Genso, really able to shut down every single player on that other side, giving Stingray as great a chance as possible to deal with every single scenario he gets put in.
Stingray now taking it forward. Serenity looking for the backboard. Genzo manages to clear that one out. Rico now looking forward. A double commit here. The Jarl's defense is awkward, but Genzo manages to get back. The pass infield doesn't quite connect for Summit, but they're keeping the pressure on. They're hunting for that second goal, and right now it's looking like it's only a matter of time before they do in fact find it. Serenity air dribbles this one across the pitch. Rico's there afterwards. Stingray saves that one away, but Shadow keeps that pressure on to the backboard. Who's there? Another double commit from Jarls. They're feeling the pressure right now. Serenity's up, drop down pass. Just a bit too high for Rico to find the net on that occasion. Now Chloe has the counter-attack, gets it past two, but Serenity can come in clutch and save that one away. Now Serenity once again. Genzo, high touch, Rico's there, beats out Stingray, but Genzo looking to flip that pressure, keep the pressure on Summit here. Serenity saves it away, but Chloe can keep the ball firmly planted in the Summit half. Now maybe a breakaway opportunity for Shadow, but Chloe saves that one out, and we stay at 1-0.
Yep, but it's a nice beat by Rico here, able to keep that pressure on. Shadow is going to be up nice and early for that one. Almost manages to squeeze it through, but it's a nice save by Chloe. Genso going to follow this one up. He's going to try and set up Chloe here. Not a lot of boost to work with, so he's just going to take his sweet time. Genso almost cuts that one out beautifully. Stingray with the follow-up shot, but that should be the end of that pressure. That's a poor touch by Shadow though. Genso is just going to race against Chloe for this one. Or Shadow, I mean. Not able to get a beat though. And now Serenity is just gonna try and squeeze this one forward. It's gonna be Stingray to try and cause some disruption. Almost forces a double commit. It's a nice cut out by Chloe. However, Rico not able to get much out of this one. That's a nice cut though. Stingray gonna get demoed. Shadow is gonna fall back though, and that demo just leads to nothing. Genso's gonna try and get on the end of this one. Stingray will get the follow up there. It's crucial to keep this pressure on. They need to find a goal sooner rather than later here, Cha.
Genzo taking it forward, looking to find that goal. Cluey off the sidewall. Rico can hit that one away. Cluey into the middle. Stingray gets blocked by Shadow, and a double commit miss there coming out from Jarls. Maybe an opportunity there, and now coming down the other end is Serenity. Once again gets the goal and gets that 2-0 buffer for Summit. They have 1 minute to hold on to this lead, and they will send us to Game 7.
They will send us to Game 7, potentially. There's still a minute on the clock here, Cha. Plenty of things could happen. We have seen bigger comebacks in shorter time. Even in this series, I was gonna say in this tier or even other tiers, but just in this series alone, I mean, we have seen a lot of comebacks in shorter time. However, it's gonna be even harder with those another 20 seconds shaved off the clock. A nice shot by Shadow there. It's gonna get saved away by Cluey here. Genzo is gonna touch this one forward, but it is gonna be a shot by Serenity. Cluey now having to work hard. Rico to cut him out. That's a nice 50 by Cluey though. Stingray is gonna be able to follow this one up. And Cluey waiting in that corner, tries to pinch it into the net, but not able to find enough power to do so. Cluey gonna buy Stingray a little time here, and a nice clear from him. Cluey needs a good 50 here. As bumped by Stingray. Genzo gonna take this one up, going for the flip reset, but it looks like it won't be enough, and it looks like we will get that Game 7, Cha.
Will, as the ball does hit the floor, Summit off the timeout respond really nicely and manage to take this Game 4 on Neo Tokyo and send us into that long-awaited Game 7 that we should have got in the last match. We didn't get it. Now we do have it, and this series has been quite back and forth throughout. A few overtimes, a few one-goal games, but that one, a 2-0, a repeat scoreline from Game 1, but just in the other direction. A really good game from this Summit roster, and a really good game from Serenity. 2 goals, 4 saves. Great performance from him, and he'll be looking to take that into Game 7.
Indeed, is going to be looking to do just that. I don't believe there was a timeout called. Correct me if I'm wrong here, Chow.
No, there was not.
No, so it does look like we're going to get straight into this Game 7. No need to wait for it. Both teams feeling pretty confident, but Jarls definitely was the worst team in this game, but we've seen how back and forward this series has been. Jarls take one game, then we see Summit game right after, able to just absolutely stomp them out, and then it just ends up going Jarls' way again, and then, you know, just back and forward. The only game that really looked like Summit was the better team and just ended up throwing it was that Game 5, where they could take the lead in the series, but they fumbled a 3-goal lead, and that set Jarls up to even be in this position in the first place, where they have another chance to end it. Of course, not able to do so the first opportunity they had.
Shadow can't get the shot on net there. Stingray, high touch. Rico looks to follow that one up, but that one's just cannons off to the sidewall. 50 in the midfield there. Stingray gets a nice beat, but Serenity's right there. A little bit of a double commit from Summit, but Serenity finds the dunk and almost catches Genzo off guard, but Genzo does very, very well to get to that one in all fairness. And now another lovely touch, but Serenity reads it all the way. Now a double off the ceiling. Rico fakes it out, but Shadow wasn't expecting it. Maybe a breakdown in the comms there. Genzo taking it forward. Serenity, a triple commit from Summit. This could be dangerous. Their defense is looking a bit open here. Genzo doesn't have the momentum to get to that ball. Rico looking to take this one out, gets it over one, but Cluey's right there to block that one. Serenity, a big clear, but only as far as Genzo keeps that ball in. A high touch. No player really taking control of this ball for more than a few touches. Each team just kind of throwing it away. Cluey off the sidewall. Rico, big clear down. Stingray off the sidewall again, but Rico's right there. This is a chance. Shadow gets it over one. Stingray's there, clears it out to the side. Rico can't get the contact he wanted on the shot. Almost 2 minutes into Game 7. We don't have a goal yet.
We do not. Shadow to carry this one forward, leaves it for Serenity, and it is just open. Rico gonna steal that one away in the end, but does look like... No, I was gonna say he did all the work, but that was indeed Shadow. Rico just gonna absolutely steal that one away. And you know what? This is the perfect time to do it. You know, you have a goal, and if you need to pad your eco a little bit to just get your way into the series, just really start waking up, then go for it. It does look like he's gonna get a second one for free, but Chloe just able to race back in time. He is gonna be able to try and beat Shadow here, but that's a poor 50-50. Serenity almost able to sneak it through afterwards. Not to be yet. Genso gonna clear it upfield. Shadow is gonna get on the end of this 50, but not able to beat Stingray out. Serenity now here, gonna launch an attack. Both his teammates was in front of him though, and that 50 was very risky. Able to get away with it for now though. But here we see Stingray, a player that has really stepped up to his plate in this series, but unable to do so right there. Genso, can he do something else? Chloe with the shot, but a big save by Shadow. And now Rico gonna lay it off to Serenity, but the shot gets saved away, Cha. And stalemate all in the middle of this game, of course. Summit has that goal lead, but how long can they keep it on?
I'm rooting for Summit purely because of these genius chants that I'm seeing in Twitch chat. Keep them coming, and maybe it will take Aspire to victory here, but still 2 minutes left here for Jarls to respond. Shadow looking to defend that one. Chloe has the shot, and Genzo saves it out. I don't think it was on target anyway. Serenity saves that one out. Chloe pops it high, gets it over one, looking to follow the pass to Genzo! The teamwork, the chemistry coming in clutch. Chloe to Genzo, to the net, and we're all tied up.
And it was these two players we talked about in the beginning of this series. They've played all season long, and they have a really, really strong record on scoring goals. They're really able to show that in this series. Playing with Stingray, who by all means have really stepped up to the plate, but I feel like a lot of his stats has been padded due to the fact he's had these two amazing players on his side, able to set him up so well. Rico here gonna get the pot shot, but that's very strong by Stingray, able to get the save. Genso to Chloe. I think the net is open. No, Shadow is back. The double tap gets faked by Chloe, but Genso not able to beat him out in the end. That's a little bit of a pot shot by Chloe, but once again, stopped by Rico. And all of a sudden, we have this back and forward play. Chloe is going to try and change that up. But a little bit of a whiff is going to make it a bit easier for Summit. That demo also opens things up. That touch was a bit poor by Serenity, though. It's going to fall to Shadow. Strong 50, but not too dangerous if you're on the side of Jarls. And a big clear down the other end. Doesn't look like either team is too happy about having that ball in their half at the moment.
Take this one forward, but Rico's right there. Shadow's up. 25 seconds for one of these teams to get the goal, or we will go to overtime. Genzo off the sidewall. Serenity should have the clear, but not the best one there. Stingray can pass that one over to Genzo. Leaves it out. Both of them miss it. Chloe has the shot, but off the post, and Serenity can take that one away. Stingray looks for the pass, but blocked out. This is going to be on 0 seconds. Can there be some magic here? Genzo to Chloe. This one might just drop down. It's kept up by Serenity. Now coming down the other way, looking for the double tap. That one doesn't find the net. And to round off this amazing series, we have Game 7 overtime.
Yep, and Shadow with a strong start here off the backboard, but Genso able to deal with it so far. Gonna bounce straight up to Genso. Gets the flip reset onto the backboard, but a nice cutout by Serenity will allow them to get a big clear here. However, it gets straight back into their half. Serenity is going to try and 50 this, not able to do so. Rico just going to try and get another clear, but not a lot of boost in the tank, so it will be a lackluster clear. However, Chloe with that whiff there does make it more easy for Summit to kind of get reorganized here. That's a big fade by Chloe though, and Genso able to take it up on the backboard and crucially gets the double tap. And what a shot by him. The only one from the side of Jarls to score on this Game 7. and is able to carry his team forward in this upper bracket, Char.
Genzo finishes it off for Jarls. What a double tap. What an impact from him all series. And what a series it was. Going all the way to golden goal. Golden game. Unbelievable series to watch. And just such scenes here in the elites here. And if we look at the post-series stats, you see just how evenly matched this series was. Summit actually ending up on more goals than Jarls, but Jarls were able to get the goals when it mattered the most and take home the series win.
Where are you seeing the post-series stats? Because
On Twitch.
I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I do see the same as you. However,
There we go.
okay. Yeah, we do have our series stats on our end as well now, making it a bit easier. And both teams very, very evenly matched. But I just want to give a big congratulations to Stingray. I don't even know what to say. It's how well played by you, Stingray. You really lived up and way beyond the expectations of me, and I think Char as well. Really
Yeah.
held his own in this series, and even if he had two really amazing players on his side to make his job easier, he never really let them down, and he really held his own in this series.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Stingray subbing up from the rival tier. We've seen a lot of really impactful sub-ups this season so far. Two of them making grand finals in the other tier. Not quite a grand finalist appearance for Stingray just yet, but a really good performance nonetheless. And if we do look over to our series MVP for this series here, it will be Genzo, and for me that doesn't really come as much of a surprise. 6 goals, 14 saves, 1 assist. What a performance from Genzo.
14 saves in 7 games. That's 2 saves every single game. And even if he just lets in 3 of those goals, this series could have gone completely different. Still a performance by Genso. And that just goes to show how I said that Stingray had 2 amazing players on his side, because if you have Kluy as well, I think the stats is going to be pretty similar. And what a performance by them. You know, we both had Aspire Summit winning this series, and yeah, it did look like Jarls just was able to find their way back in, and they just ran away with it in the end. They had 2 chances to close it out. Of course, not able to do so on the first one, but on the second occasion is able to do so. That is the last game of tonight. However, tomorrow we will be back with another free series of play-ins for Elite. It will be starting out with Okami versus Deception, and whoever wins that series will be facing Darkness, who is going to be waiting in that second round of the lower bracket. And to finish off that night, we will have Atlakoya facing off Barney, and whoever loses that series will go down and face the winner of the round 2 in lower bracket of Darkness, and whoever is going to win the first round down there. So stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, that proves to be a great night of elite action, just like tonight. We started off with Saturnia getting the sweep over Nguni, then them getting beat out by Alpha Surge in that second round, and then the Game 7 overtime. What a series between Jarls and Summit. So a great night of elite action. But that is our final match of the night, and that is where tonight's stream will come to a close. And yeah, just a great night of some very entertaining series.
Yep, but before we end, just want to give a shout out to our sponsors. Of course, check out Badass Studios. There has been ads running. My camera. Oh, hello. My camera did fall off my keyboard. It has a very scuffed support. But
I was
yeah,
wondering why we weren't going to cameras.
great. Big thank you to our sponsors, Badass Studios. Check them out on their website, badass-studios.com. And they also have a Twitter page. It is x.com/badassxr. Also check out SpartanWare if you want some gaming kits. They have many of the franchises jerseys, and also one for RSC themselves, and even a cap, I do believe. Check them out at spartanware.uk/rsc-eu. And also LTXAcademy, if you're looking for some coaching, make sure you check out their website, LTXAcademy.com. And if you're picking up anything from the Epic Store or the Rocket League Store, use code RSC-eu.
Yeah, and one final shout out to Big Chebs for pressing the buttons behind the scenes as well, and being here all night to stream for us. And what a great stream it was. But make sure you tune in tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Don't miss a stream for the final week of the RSC16. It promises to be some great Elite and Master action. We'll see you next time.
To rank up in Rocket League? Are you stuck in Diamond while your other friends flex their SSL title? Well, look no further. I have partnered up with LTXAcademy as a coach, and we are ready to boost your gameplay. With multiple tournaments